What's up, YouTube? And we're back with another episode. Tonight we have RN Gamer. He is a nurse, he is a gamer, Resident Evil specialist, and an all-around amazing guy. Tonight, though, we're going to get into something else. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Let's Play Death Ray. I'm David.
I'm Jake.
Kyle.
Kyle, you forgot to close your door, dude.
Did I?
Yeah, you 100% did.
I mean, you could have done that because you can see it, and I can't.
I actually can't see it after our backlighting, but way to mess up the intro. But I could hear, I could hear me echoing through your mic. Oh, and while he's doing that, RN, why don't you introduce yourself and where you can be found?
I'm RNGamer85. I can be found on Twitch at twitch.tv/RNGamer85. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all under RNGamer85. So
Awesome.
I'm on all the places
It's
except
true.
for Facebook.
Is Facebook even a place anymore? Like,
I have a personal Facebook, but I literally do nothing on it. It's there. It's there.
Yeah, I told one of our buddies on the stream yesterday, like, I have a Facebook, but I have everything on it muted except for my text conversation with my old Call of Duty buddies, who like were my go-to Friday night team, and him, my buddy Anthony. Like, everything else is muted on it, and it doesn't send me notifications or anything.
I use Facebook to buy bike parts, and I run a charity mountain bike event every year, and I use it to promote it on there, and that's it.
Okay. So interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because that kind of launches and segues right into my first couple questions.
Okay.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but you're down south, Louisiana, Alabama, somewhere in that area.
Alabama.
And you're into mountain biking.
Yep. Northeast Alabama is like the mountain biking capital of the South. We have, like, just in where I live alone, we have over 200 miles of mountain bike trails.
Really?
Yeah. And some of and some stuff that rivals what you see in Colorado and up on the northeast coast and stuff like that too. Not a lot of elevation, but a lot of just craziness.
Okay. So that makes sense. Because that was going to be one of my first questions. Because we're in Wyoming, so a lot of mountain bikers up here.
Yeah.
But when I lived down south, I didn't meet anyone who was into mountain biking. So I was going to ask you what kind of terrain you usually take.
It's become a big thing over the last like 8 or 9 years down here. They've really tried to peg into the cycling community, and we have there's so many natural untouched resources down here that people don't know about that are protected, and then they end up becoming like mountain bike trails and Jeep trails, and like I have 200 miles, 200-300 miles of Jeep trails within like an hour from me too.
Okay. So do you guys ever have to? I've seen my buddy has had to like outfit his bike with all kinds of stuff that goes and does mountain biking here, just because, like, for instance, one of the things he has to carry with him is he actually carries climbing gear, because some of the trails that they go on, if something goes wrong, you're like stuck on the side of the mountain on sheer cliff faces. Do you guys have anything like that where you're at?
Nothing like that. The good thing about most of ours was we're pretty close. Most of our stuff is really close to civilization. Like, for the most part, you're not really too far out from like a little town or something. And most of our stuff it's not really mountains. It's just big hills. So there's no real big cliff top things. But so we always have cell phone signal, almost always.
That's fortunate.
Yeah, it's really nice.
We have, depending on who your carrier is, we have parts of town that you don't get cell phone.
Yeah. We're lucky enough to have mountain bike signal cell phone signal in most places. Mountain bike signals too, yeah. But yeah.
Gotta have that reception.
Yeah.
Okay. See, now that just makes me think of like strapping like a CB mountain bike or something. Like,
don't give me any ideas, man.
It'd be funny. I don't think it would work. It'd be funny.
That's a new TikTok out there.
It'd be all on a sidecar too.
Yeah, we just need a way to like have Twitch control the mountain bike. And
yeah.
Million view idea right there.
There it is. Get some GoPros. Get some mobile hotspots. Come on now, RN. You'll be the #1 mountain bike streamer on Twitch.
That would be awesome. That would be cool.
To
That'd be,
stream from
that'd
home.
be a cool market to try to corner.
It would be. I feel like it would be difficult at first, but I feel like legitimately, if you're the first person to do it, like,
Because mountain biking is huge on YouTube. It's massive on YouTube. There's
Yep.
a lot of creators that do mountain bike content that make a full blown living off mountain bike content.
I believe it. That was one of the next things I was going to talk about is if you've ever thought about doing like the GoPro rides and stuff. Because there's one guy I watch. I can't remember the name of the channel, but he does a lot of the like forest trails, which I imagine are similar to like what you guys have, where he's going down like a 45-degree incline, rushing through, trees and thickets, like super fast. And you're watching all from like, he runs a couple different angles. So he's got the chest mounted, he's got the helmet mounted, and then what I assume is a backpack mounted because it looks like it's over his shoulder.
Yeah, they have, but there's several different mounts. So
Funny
enough, that's kind of what got me into like the YouTube game. Is I was going to start off doing mountain bike videos. That's my YouTube channel started out as a mountain bike POV channel, and then I started streaming on Twitch out of on a whim, and then my YouTube channel became my gaming channel.
Okay. Have you ever?
It was editing mountain bike videos.
Have you ever used the X harnesses?
I have a gimbal. I have a chest gimbal.
Yeah.
And then I used a mounted GoPro to it. And like the chest gimbal always just got the better. It just made it look so much better. You don't get the shaky cam look. But yeah, I have all the gear for mountain bike videos too.
Now you just need to update the GoPro. It'll connect wirelessly.
I know. I have to work on something. I'm gonna have to work on something.
I was just curious because I used to do military simulation airsoft stuff, and I used the X harness for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was about to ask if you'd used it for mountain biking because like for us, part of those videos that they used to like, this is years ago, was you'd like strap it to like the plate carrier and then use like the X harness to give it a little bit of support. But like people expected when you were running, they wanted to see the battle rattle and everything. Yeah. But I feel like that would make you nauseous for like mountain biking.
On the mountain biking, people love the smooth. They want it to be as smooth as possible. So the smooth shots get better. Smooth shots get better views on mountain bikes.
That makes sense.
So
what
if you've ever tried to watch 10 minutes of somebody doing this, it's rough.
I have, but never mind.
I mean, it's rough.
I almost made a bad joke there. What's your what? What is your favorite trail that you've had the opportunity to ride?
That's a tough one. So there's a place in North Carolina. It's Pisgah National Forest. Massive forest. National forest. I couldn't tell you how many mountain bike trails out there, but there's one called Black Mountain, and it just goes. You pretty much hike to the top of the trail. You gravel road, hike to part of it. Best view you ever seen in your life, and then it's 6 miles of pure, just downhill, rowdy rock, dirt, and fun. It's a 2-hour ride. An hour and a half of it's going uphill.
Oh.
It's like, I think it's 2,200 feet of elevation gain from the bottom to the top, and you descend 2,200 feet, and it's insane. It's insane.
I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, like I used to like mountain biking, but man, and I'm from the mountains, but bro, like we don't do anything like that. We don't.
There's some craziness now. There's some craziness now. Like I'm going to West Virginia in a month or two to ride mountain bike ski slope trails. They turn ski slopes into mountain bike trails in the summer. They do that. Oh yeah. It's awesome. Yeah.
I don't know what ski slopes are. I don't know
10
what
to
ski
15
slopes.
foot drops. I'll have to show you some videos one day.
I don't know what ski slopes are like near you, but like for us, when they end, that's just end of mountain.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
would you go up?
Yeah. 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 There's, I mean, it's insane. They build wooden features out there off some of these drops that, I mean, they're insane. I'll have to show, I have some pictures in the video. I'll have to show you one day. It's absolutely insane.
I
Some of the
would
stuff
love
they do.
that, but
There's a lot of things I'm scared to do too.
Reasonable.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I stay away from.
what? Because you just talked about riding off the side of a mountain.
Like, okay, so I think the biggest like sheer drop I've done is probably about 12 feet from down to next area. I've seen like 50 or 50-foot tabletop jumps. Like what people would do on a motorcycle, people are doing on mountain bikes.
Hmm.
Yeah, hitting these jumps, hitting 50-foot jumps, 12 feet in the air, and jumping gaps that are 30 feet long.
Yeah.
Just check out, when you get a chance, YouTube Red Bull Rampage.
Oh, yeah.
It takes place in Moab. It's they're going down sheer rock face in Utah and doing backflips off of it.
I know Moab.
Mountain biking gets crazy.
What?
There's some nuts out there.
Yeah, there is.
And what I do is tame compared to that.
Okay. Sure. But I can't imagine mountain biking in Moab like at all.
Oh yeah, that's my dream places to go ride. There's some cool stuff out there. I had a friend that went out there this past summer. Went out there and they were out there for days just riding.
I wonder if they allow mountain biking in Zion National Park.
Not in Zion.
They don't?
Zion's the
Okay.
only Zion they don't. Only foot traffic in Zion. So, but that would be cool though.
That would be. That's the national park in Utah that I'm the most familiar with, and I was just thinking about it when you said Moab. Like, that would be, man. There could be some intense rides around there, but
yeah, it's crazy out there.
Yeah. Oh, that's awful. So like,
Not that bad.
Shut up, Kyle. Not all of us are adrenaline junkies.
Is this where Kyle reveals he's secretly used to be like a professional mountain biker? Or...
So I've watched a lot of videos of like almost the extreme portion where they're literally jumping gaps from one mountain to the next.
Yeah.
In like I think Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
They ride like the top of the mountain over and they go to the next.
They'll be riding spines of mountains and
it's
crazy. It's crazy.
Not healthy.
Some of these guys are making millions a year to do it too.
Sponsorships.
Millions.
Sure.
They're all sponsored by Red Bull. They're all sponsored by Rockstar, Monster. I mean, they're just making money hand over fist doing stupid stuff on bikes.
Extreme sport item.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsor right there.
Clothing gear.
Bikes.
Bike
tires.
Yeah.
I don't know that you could pay me enough to challenge gravity.
They have a
much.
sponsor. They have a sponsor for every part on their bike. They have a different sponsor for basically.
Yeah,
a lot of bike parts.
Their footwear.
I was about
to. A lot of them.
I was about to ask if it. I imagine it would have to be like kind of like NASCAR in the sponsorship angle of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
These tires brought to you by Goodwear.
Basically.
This right lug nut brought to you by some asshole. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's crazy the money that's in it.
That's insane. That's cool though. Like, because it's so weird. Because like, mountain biking was lame when I was a kid. Like, I remember my brother and I always got made fun of because we wanted to go like mountain bike and ride dirt trails and stuff when all of our buddies were like all about BMX bike and BMX racing. Yeah.
BMX is still badass too. I wish I was better on a BMX bike, but I just could never get good at it. It's tough.
I've been 6 foot tall since I was 13. Riding a BMX bike was difficult and painful.
So I've been short my whole life, so it's been easy.
I think mountain bike is like the equivalent to when we were kids, rock climbing, like free and no rope, just straight free rock climbing.
There's so many different disciplines when it comes to mountain biking too. There's like let's see, 6 or 7 different pro categories just for mountain biking. Like there's some that specialize in going just downhill as fast as possible. There's some that specialize in timed race, like staged races. They have a certain point to get from point A to point B. Then there's like lap races. There's marathon races. Like it's just there's all kinds of different disciplines, and it's an Olympic sport now too.
Really?
Has been
Right.
yeah, it has
Yeah.
been last couple I think 10 years or so. It's been an Olympic sport.
Hmm.
So,
I didn't catch that, but
Yep.
I didn't watch the summer games.
yeah, I don't either. I watch a lot of the stuff on Red Bull TV though. They like when we go to Snowshoe, we're going for the World Cup, like World Championship races too. So that's what's going on. We're going up there to ride and watch races. So
That's cool.
yeah.
So like now, I imagine you don't just have an off the rack bike. I'm sure you've modified it quite a bit. How much?
Which bike? Because I
I'm
have
sorry.
I have multiple bikes.
I like how we went from 4 to 5, and then you know what? Just a lot.
I had 5. I had 5 bikes. Now I have 4. I sold one of them.
Okay, I was about to ask, did you break
'Cause I
one
have
of
a-
them jumping
no,
off of these?
I have bikes for different disciplines.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I-
And my cheapest bike is $1,500.
Okay, answered the
I'm not
next
gonna.
question.
I won't tell you what my most expensive bike is because it almost costs as much as my Jeep did.
Jesus.
I'm sorry?
My used Jeep Wrangler that I just bought. My bike was $3,000 cheaper than my Jeep.
Yeah, I can believe it.
So
That-
it's a $9,000 bike.
Good
that I-
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can believe it. All the tech that
Yeah.
actually goes into bikes nowadays.
It has Bluetooth shifting, so it's wireless shifting from have shifters in the front. There's no cables that go from the front to the rear. It wirelessly shifts.
Weight reduction.
It's carbon fiber. It's made of the lightest carbon fiber on the market. The wheels are the lightest carbon fiber on the market. And the spokes aren't even metal; they're nylon, so they're super strong and lightweight. Like it's stupid. It's stupid, but I freaking love it. It's 100% custom though. I bought it as a frame and built it up.
How much? So okay, how much does a bike like that weigh then?
It's about 16.5 pounds.
Okay.
And my heaviest bike, even I have a heavier carbon bike that's 31 pounds. So you can go anywhere from 16 pounds to 35, 40 pounds on these bikes. So it just depends on how you part them out, basically.
Yeah.
16 doesn't sound bad. Like, again, I'm used to like the weird people around here who strap like my buddy, his mountain bike.
Motors.
Not motors, no, but like he's literally got a bag that he's custom fit to the top bar that straps underneath that he has climbing gear in,
crazy.
and extra rations and stuff like that. Cause like he's one of those like hyper survivalist type dudes. So he has a setup that he calls his doomsday setup, and it's literally his mountain bike, his 10-day marine pack, and then he has one of those like the big off-road baby carriers because he's got kids that he'll ride around his, and he figured out that he can fit his one kid and 3 days worth of water rations, you name it, in the back there, and toys for the kid. So he and the kid can just take off, disappear into the mountain.
That's hilarious.
But like his bike's gotta weigh like 80 plus pounds,
Yeah.
I feel like, because he's got it strapped down with all kinds of shit.
A bike at the Tour de France, just to give you reference, they usually weigh about 12 to 13 pounds.
Okay. So like real lightweight.
They're super lightweight. Like every nut and bolt on a Tour de France bike is like the lightest possible thing that can be on it.
Yep.
So
Okay.
it can get. I mean, but that bike. I went into that bike knowing I was going to spend a shit ton of money. Like I knew it was bought piece by piece. So it wasn't like I went in and like, here's a $9,000 check. It was like, here's $1,500, and then a couple months later, here's this, and here's like I built it over a period of like a year and a half or so.
Okay,
Gotcha.
that's not too bad. It's
Yeah.
still a lot of money for a bike.
It's still a lot of money, and the bad thing is I could always sell it for about 5 or 6. Like as soon as I built it and rode it, it depreciated in value almost immediately.
Right.
That's just because the way it works.
It's the same thing with vehicles too, man. You can buy a $50,000 car and then drive it off the lot for less than a mile, and now it's worth 20.
Yep. Same thing.
Yeah.
So,
although I guess it makes sense. I mean, we were talking about how much you spent on some of that memorabilia behind you.
yeah.
So
I have a bad thing about spending money.
me too. I just don't have a lot of the money, so my wife.
I don't either.
Didn't you just buy a new XLR mic and setup?
Yeah.
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 See,
I have a spending problem.
I do
but,
too.
you
I
know.
think that's why my wife tricked me into having kids, because now I don't
That's why
have
we
any
don't-
money to spend.
That's why we don't have kids, me and my wife. We couldn't afford them.
That's fair. Yeah. So you mentioned you do mountain bike charity events. So
Yeah.
how does that work? Do you guys just like fundraise beforehand? Is it like old school charity events, or is it like streamed or recorded, or?
It's just a old school group. Basically, what I do is about this time of year, I start getting sponsors together, because we do
Okay.
like we do a big group ride where everybody comes out, we ride together, and we go and hang out and drink beer and eat food. So I have because beer and mountain biking are like this. Like we drink beer while we're mountain biking sometimes. So that's a different story. But yeah, so basically we start fundraising from sponsors and stuff like that. Like I got a bunch of big name sponsors this year giving away like we were giving away like we'll do raffle prizes, and we gave away a $2,000 wheel set last year, and this year we got a bunch of other stuff. And
Okay.
we sell T-shirts, and everything we get goes towards a scholarship foundation for a buddy that we had pass away 2 years ago. He was a young guy who local mountain biker, and was heading home from his girlfriend's house, and a random bullet caught him, and he ended up killing him. And so I started a group ride, and we've been doing it. This year will be the 3rd year I did it. We went from raising $800 the first year to $6,000 last year, and so far I'm already at like $2,500, and I hadn't even started selling tickets yet.
Dang.
So
That's impressive that you've been able to do that though, such a
To
short
get-
amount of time.
it's just like with streaming. It depends. It's the community, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, the mountain bike community where I'm at is amazing.
Hmm.
They really are, and everybody knew this kid. That's the thing, is everybody knew him, everybody liked him, so everybody knows his family. His family's one of those families that they're everybody's family.
Right.
So it makes it easy when you have a cause like that, and you have a good community built around that cause.
Right.
So
I hear that.
I just got really lucky. Got really lucky to fall into a community like that, basically.
That's always good though. Like, I mean, you mentioned Twitch. Obviously, we're all Twitch streamers. But I've been in way too many things. Done a lot of hobbies, things, and yeah, the community makes or breaks.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Like, it's weird how competitive some people can be, and how like, we're in Wyoming again, to point out. This is a very small state.
Right.
There are some cities with the population of our state. And even like to look at like the martial arts community, which by the way, is again also a small fraction of that small fraction of people here.
Yeah.
And how divided that can be, and crazy. Like, I made a lot of good friends and stuff doing that and teaching for years, but like there were some schools where it was just like, hey, yeah, don't go near him or any of his students because they're fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's another thing that, like, school, like, talk about schools. That's another thing that's big down here now, is they're doing high school mountain bike teams. It's huge. just in the state of Alabama alone, I think there's like 250 mountain bike teams with 60 plus student athletes on it. So what we do, what my scholarship or my charity event does, all the money that's raised goes into an account that gives a scholarship to an outstanding student athlete in the mountain bike world in the state of Alabama. So like we this year we're going to be able to give away like a $2,000 or $3,000 scholarship. I think is what it's looking like right now
Nice.
to some lucky student that just because they like riding mountain bikes, basically. So that's, I mean, that's one of the big things that kind of helps with it too. Is all these kids grew up with this kid that died, and they knew him as a racer and everything, and they're like they want to be like him, and his parents want their kid to be like him, and it helps. It's crazy. I mean, it is. It blows me away.
Yeah, but that's like part of the reason why we do the show is because I love talking to people about the things they're really passionate about. And when you can take that and combine it with actually doing something good for other people, like the results that you see saying to me. Passion breeds a lot of willingness to strive and push forward, and creativity, and just, I think, intrinsic drive that causes things.
Yeah.
That's cool that you're able to do that. That's
I'm happy that I'm able to do something like that. So,
have you been a part of any other like charity rides or any other like races or anything?
yeah, a few. We have a couple. We have several that are around here. I've always been a participant in them. This is the first time. I've been like the person that's like running it. So I went from just being like a participant to a promoter and a organizer and sponsor finder. Like I've been having to do emails, like all this stuff that I'd never even like. It was supposed to start out it was supposed to be just a cool group ride. Everybody got together in his name, and then it became something way bigger than it was. It was never intended to be this big thing. It was supposed to be just a good get together, and then people were sort of throwing ideas at me, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. And then it went from 100 people the first year to 300 people the next year, and then I don't know what it's going to be when it comes January. I have no idea, but my Facebook page for it's grown from like 300 likes to like 700 likes or so. So, and I got like I said, I got big companies coming in to sponsor it this year. Big companies in the mountain bike world that sponsor big events, and they're throwing prizes at me like, here, take this, because I tell them the story, and they were like, we would love to be a part of this.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's insane that I mean, I'm making contacts in that world where they can help us in the future. So yeah,
I mean,
now I just got to do that in the gaming world.
No, now you have to get the stuff and stream mountain biking. Then you can be the first ever mountain biker charity Twitch streamer. All right.
I like streaming video games though, man.
Look,
just do
turn it
both
into
at
a
the same
video game.
time. I don't see the big deal. Just slap a screen in front of you.
There is a guy that plays I don't know if he plays Call of Duty or Apex or something, but he does it while he's on a like a indoor bike. I've seen him on TikTok before.
Sweaty Pedals.
Yeah, Sweaty Pedals. Yeah,
that's
hilarious.
He's on
that's
like one
hilarious.
of the. It's not a recumbent, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just an indoor exercise bike, and it's hilarious.
There's also a dude on Twitch who sits on a motorcycle, like a crotch rocket racing bike, while he plays Call of Duty. And like that's his whole big thing is he has the coolest gaming chair on Twitch.
That's genius.
Yeah, his name is Mr. Thomas Jonesy. He's a good friend of mine, actually. He's a cool dude, but
that's awesome.
It's a solid gimmick.
No,
if it works, it works, man.
Absolutely.
You can't hate on something that works that well.
I'm telling you, this is why I want to see the RN mountain bike stream. Also, I kind of want to see what a $9,000 mountain bike looks like.
I'll shoot you a picture. I'll post you a picture.
I appreciate it because I can't imagine that, but at the same time, I can't say anything.
It's a kick-ass bike.
I'm sure. I mean, dude, I spent like $65 once on a friggin' practice Bali song butterfly knife for martial arts. So like,
Yeah.
I can't judge anyone for what they spent. Like those are normally $5 to put it in perspective, and I spent 65 on mine. So like, you know, so I can't judge at all.
I just posted a picture in your general chat.
All right, perfect. Let me hold on. I'm gonna take a look at this on my phone because I can't do it on the main screen here. Let's.
It's a 100% custom build. So
That's awesome, man. Oh, dude. I don't know what I was expecting. What that? Yes. Also,
that's a gravel bike. That's not actually a mountain bike, but that's a gravel bike. That's what we ride on Forest Service roads.
Okay.
But that's my most expensive. That's my fitness bike. That's what I use to get my fitness up.
Bro,
we'll ride 50, 60 miles or so on those.
Also, I can't tell from the photo. Is that like red or orange? Because if you have a blue, oh, okay.
It's orange and blue.
Orange is cool, but if it was blue and red, I was gonna be like, dude, you got the Spider-Man bike and everything. You get sponsored by Marvel.
Yeah, it's orange and blue. It's apparently it's supposed to be the same. It's called Pacific Ocean Blue and Golden Gate Orange. It's because the company that makes that bike is from San Francisco.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And the bike's called the bike's called the Headlands, which is the Headlands National Park, which is where the Golden Gate Bridge is or whatever in that little park. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Definitely way more than I would have.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dude, I love hearing about this stuff. Like, it's so crazy to see all the things that people are like passionate about and do and hobbies that people have. Cause like, I don't know. It's I think part of the reason I'm so interested in it is growing up in a little town. Like everyone's always like, there's nothing to do. And then you meet people and they're like, well, this is how I spend my time.
Yeah. That's I mean, I grew up in a town, we had one red light. I mean seriously, I mean it was a small area, but and there was nothing to do. And we figured out stuff to do. We started building mountain bike trails.
Awesome. We used to do the same thing. Although again, like I said, my buddies were obsessed with BMX. My brother and I were the only ones who really like mountain biking. And then I got out of it. I actually have a scar on my right below my sternum, where I went off of a jump and my buddy had modified it and I hit in the mud while it was still setting up and the handlebar turned and we were poor. My bike came from Goodwill, so the rubber ends had worn off.
We're gone.
And the metal went straight into my solar plexus, and I have a circular scar there to this day.
I think I have a scar similar to that. But recently.
See, I was going to say, the difference is you climb back on. I went, I'll ride bikes, but I'm done with jumps. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. That I was gonna ask if you have any like crazy accidents or scars.
I've been very fortunate in my I've not had any major crashes. I've bumped my shoulder a couple of times, but no dislocations, no breaks or anything like that. So I've been pretty lucky. But I've had my bell rung a couple of times, but thankfully I had a really good helmet on. I broke 2 helmets. That's probably the hardest. Yeah. Helmets, they're made to protect you, but they also have some kind of give to them. Yeah. If you hit a sharp rock, it's gonna break the plastic on that helmet. I wish I still had the helmet. I would show you. I mangled a helmet.
That's crazy. Like I hit cars with my head, but I never broke a helmet. That's crazy.
I was fine. Like I think I had a headache for like a day, like small concussion, but no bruises, no breaks, nothing.
Small concussion, but I was fine.
Small concussion. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have a concussion than a broke collarbone, though. broke collarbones suck. They
hurt. But
they hurt. I have
had one
of those before.
Depends on how many times you've had the concussion.
Yeah, one concussion. I've only had one concussion.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you have some to spare.
Yeah, I have a couple more left. I try not to hit my head anymore.
It's good.
A good policy.
Yeah.
I
Try
think
to brace my
many-
fall.
How many concussions are you allowed asking for a friend?
I think anything less than 8, you're good.
Okay. I've
we're-
got plenty of wiggle room left then.
I was gonna say,
Do not take that as medical advice, please.
Too late.
yeah, I was gonna say Jake and I have quite a sordid past with concussions. I think he has like 2 more than I do. I don't know. I got like
I mean,
4. I think.
allegedly.
Yeah, he has a concussion that he doesn't even remember from when we were younger. I tell the story all the time, and he's like, I don't remember that happening.
Yeah.
I have no knowledge of that story. It
Yeah.
sounds made up.
It's bad when other people have to tell you about it.
To be
Oh.
fair, the other one is also fairly similar. It's just that, I was a bit older, so I can, piece together, there was things that happened, and then there's a, period where I know stuff happened, but I don't remember any of it, and then there was, after that. It was a wrestling match, and I remember, like, warming up for the wrestling match. Don't remember the match. And then remember, like, 10 minutes after the match, like, talking to a coach, they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't I be?
fine.
Don't remember the match at all, but, apparently something happened.
Been there.
I'm
Yeah.
with you, RN. Yeah, I only have 1 concussion.
Yeah.
Yep.
For all of my fighting, I've done fencing. I've done more martial arts styles than I care to list off. I've done a little bit of like not wrestling, but like Brazilian jiu-jitsu type training and stuff. MMA, running around with fake swords in the backyard with a bunch of friends. For all of the fighting I've done, I never got a concussion doing any of that. I'm the guy who gets a concussion slipping on the ice or like makes a dumb joke to a friend and they accidentally hit you in the head with a 2x4 and stuff like that.
After all the stuff that I told you that I've done, you want to hear? Have I told you about me breaking my foot earlier in the year? I'm just getting over a
No.
broken foot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I broke my foot in February, and I just got cleared by the doctor about 3 weeks ago.
Holy crap.
Do you want to know how I broke my foot?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
now.
Getting out of bed, getting ready for work.
Ow.
I stepped as a shoe that I didn't know was there. I stepped on it, rolled my foot up under it, fell on my foot, and broke it.
Oh, that had to hurt so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
like I'm a little glad I'm not the only one who has that kind of luck, but also,
Yeah.
oh my god, that sucks,
After
bro.
all the stuff that I do, that's how I break my foot. It's the only time I've missed work in 5 years too, because I was
Oh
getting
my
ready
God.
for work. I called them. I was like, "Yeah, I can't come in." They're like, "What's wrong?" I was like, I just broke my foot." They're like, "You did what?" And I was like, "I just broke my foot. I'm going to the doctor."
Yeah. Jeez, dude. Do you have to do physical therapy and stuff to get it back to where it
No,
was?
I was lucky. It wasn't. It was. I mean, it was bad, but it was where it was. I was able to just be offloading for a couple of weeks, just on crutches for a couple of weeks, and then I was in a walking boot.
Okay.
Like if they said if it would have been displaced just a little bit more, I would have had to have surgery. But it was just displaced just enough to where I didn't have to have surgery. So I got lucky.
That's good.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
super
that's
lucky
really
on
good.
that. So, but yeah, that's how I spent my first part of the year.
Rough.
Fun.
Good time to Twitch, I guess, right?
Yep, yeah. I mean, it helped. It helped.
Yeah.
It helped pass the time.
That's crazy, man.
Sure.
That's insane. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh
'cause,
yeah.
Damn. Also, what a treacherous way to go out. Not anything dangerous. Just a shoe. Just a shoe.
Just a shoe. Just a shoe.
Just
I make
daily
sure all
life.
I make sure all my shoes are put up now.
Fair. I'm glad I don't take my shoes off in the bedroom, I guess. There's one less
Yeah,
way for me to die.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
do it.
Oh,
If I
that's
can- if I can teach you one lesson, just, don't have your shoes near your bed.
no shoes near bed. beat
your
him
helmet.
to mountain biking, wear a helmet. Oh wait,
No more than 8 concussions and you're fine.
yeah, no more than 8 concussions. And guys, as to my next topic, he's a nurse. He would know.
I am indeed.
It's like when your lawyer friend tells you to go ahead and do it. It's perfectly legal, right?
But I have to preface this with I was a cardiac nurse, not a brain nurse.
Yeah, it's all the same.
I've been
Not a head
nurse. Not a head nurse, heart nurse.
Oh,
Now I'm a wound nurse.
how you doing? I was gonna ask. I wasn't gonna ask on, but
Yeah.
since you brought it up, doing wound care stuff now.
Yeah, I went from doing cardiac, ICU, intensive care stuff to I work in a clinic now, and we do wound
Okay.
cares. We see patients in an outpatient setting,
Right.
that need extra care outside the hospital for wounds, and it's amazing. I'm not drowning in the ICU anymore, and it's awesome.
What I was about to say, that's a
Fair enough.
heavy job, man. Like
It's tough. I loved it, but it was time to move on. So
I
I'm
feel like you can only do stuff like that and really do it and not become kind of a
Well,
shitty person for
yeah. I think I see what you're saying, and I think I would still be there if it wouldn't have been for the past year of
Mhm.
what's been going on in healthcare.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things. It's been a tough year as a nurse in general, but as an ICU nurse too that traveled to 2 major cities. It's been it was a rough year, so it was one of those times. It was like I need to step away and do something different. So
No, I get that. Yeah, that's my wife works at the hospital here, and
Yeah.
I hear a lot about that. And I have a lot of we have a clinic at the facility that I work at. I talk to a lot of nurses, and they end up coming into corrections nursing because
Yeah.
other nursing is just too
it's rough.
yeah. And you think about
I
that,
almost did corrections nursing.
yeah.
I almost went into corrections nursing until I found this other job. So yeah.
Well, to be fair, your current job sounds way better than.
Oh man, it's cush. I'm not gonna lie, it's cush.
I know.
I deserve it though.
Not gonna
That's what I
argue with
say.
me. Look, I feel like
I
all
deserve
nurses
it.
deserve that as long as they aren't just shit at what they do.
Yeah.
Like a good nurse is worth $1 million.
Oh,
Hon-
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I've worked with some really, really good nurses, and I would work with them every day. I've worked with some really bad nurses that have no business doing what they're doing. So I mean, it's like any job though. It's just like any job. You have your really good ones, and you have people that are just there to be there. They're there to collect a paycheck, and so.
I think it goes back to what we were just talking about with hobbies too, though. I think there has to be an element of passion and desire. If what you do in life doesn't spark some sort of sense of honor or duty or joy, I think you're gonna suck at it because you aren't gonna
100%.
put who you are into it.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. You have to love it.
Yeah.
You have to love people. And people are hard to love
No,
sometimes.
no.
People are hard to love sometimes. Or you at least got to like them.
This is why Kyle works with machines.
This is
It's really hard to like the general public, I promise. Somebody hit my car today, so I hate people today.
I was gonna say I
But-
saw that picture.
But in general, you have to like people for that for most jobs like that.
I think the way I put it is you have to find value in people.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm an asshole, so I hate everyone all the time. But I'm able to find the value in them and their lives and the things that they could do. So I'm able to put forth that best effort and, restrain myself from throttling them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of times I've had to bite my lip when talking to people and talking to patients and stuff because people are
Don't imagine.
rude. People are rude.
Yeah.
And so, just gotta bite your lip and move on and do what you're supposed to do, and say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am.
I wish I could.
A valuable skill.
Yeah, it is.
Just shut your mouth and do what you're supposed to do.
I just
Yeah.
gotta deal with them for like 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
just move on.
I just say that's where you end up with Kyle. You end up as a mechanic because you can't work with people.
Well, it's like even today, it's like I inspected 3 trucks.
Uh-huh.
2 of them chose to leave with those repairs not fixed. Like there's 2 trucks going down the road that have driveline U-joints going out and a carrier bearing going out.
Don't tell me this. I'm already nervous to drive next to semis, Kyle.
I can tell you straight up who they are, and it's like you don't drive behind a semi. You drive in front of it. Why?
Yeah,
Because
can
when
we
that
get
semi breaks down, you're safe.
Can we get those license plate numbers or?
Don't actually give those on stream.
You can DM those too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're safe. You're all the way over there. They're only Wyoming drivers.
Thanks, Kyle. That
The
makes us.
local companies.
Anyways, God, incompetence was not on the list of things to talk about, but I'm glad we covered that, I guess. The worst part is I drive right by your shop on my way to and from work. So I
Oh, yeah?
really,
Really nervous now.
yeah. Ugh.
Semis don't go out your way that often, as much as the highway or
Sorry.
the other road that goes south.
Yeah, we'll debate that later because I disagree with that completely. But that's like one of the dude. They go past there so often, especially hauling like toxic chemicals and stuff, like the chemical traveling through there on 263. That our second top like safety concern for the building is a toxic chemical spill from the road, and how are we going to evacuate everyone in case of that? That's number 2. Number 1 is a plane hitting the building because we're like 5 feet from the airport. Number 2 is trucks spilling toxic shit.
So, David, first of all, I'll tell you, customers that don't get their truck fixed are farmers
Oh, okay.
or
We're fine then.
local like dirt haulers that
That's good.
that run belly dumps. Those are the 2 people that don't get their truck fixed if they don't have to.
Oh, Kyle.
I'm just telling you
Dirt hauler
this.
sounds like such a bad insult.
It kind of is. If you've ever hung around any truckers, it kind of is.
I'm just a damn dirt hauler.
Oh.
I'm gonna use that now.
Oh, yeah. Do it.
See, that guy's a fucking dirt hauler, right?
Oh, dude, we should make an exclamation dirt hauler command.
Absolutely.
Oh, anyways, to get back on
I
track
might use
and
that a
on
whole lot
topic.
more than it's supposed to be.
Oh, so that was all the questions I had about mountain biking that then got wildly distracted. Do you two have anything else on that?
No.
Okay.
I forgot it's what we were talking about, David.
That's fair. Look, we went from mountain biking to
All over the
injuries
place.
to nursing to fucking dirt haulers, man.
Well, it happens.
I would not be surprised if that whole section just gets clipped and ends up on TikTok. Anyways, so moving on. I know it wasn't on the list of things that you sent me, but
Mhm.
I happen to know that you are quite the Resident Evil aficionado.
I like to say so. Yeah.
I was gonna say we can see
I'm
the
a
shelf
big fan.
behind you. Also, you're
I'm a
wearing
big
an
fan.
umbrella shirt.
Unconfirmed.
Umbrella, best company ever.
Ooh.
Yeah, Umbrella Corp did nothing wrong.
Look
If it wasn't
here.
for them, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the Resident Evil games. Best company ever. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. Look, you're
Hey,
probably
you
a
just
Chris
have the
Redfield
T-virus.
supporter.
You
I'm
just
not a- I'm
have
not- I'm
the
not a
T
Red-
virus.
I'm a Claire Redfield supporter. I'm not
Okay,
a Chris Redfield
I can get
supporter.
behind that.
Oh,
Claire
yeah.
Claire is good, but
Claire's good.
I have people mad at me for my take on Chris after Resident Evil 8, where I proceed to say that I really wish I could shoot him in the head.
I don't like. I've never been a big Chris fan, except for the first game. I don't like the way they went with Chris.
Chris is a
So,
dick.
I don't like how I don't like how his story has ended up over the years.
That's good.
You don't like
So-
boulder punching? Come on.
No, listen, boulder punching Chris is badass though. Don't know. Roid Rage, Chris Redfield is the best Chris Redfield.
Oh my god.
No. That's my favorite scene in that entire game is him just giving
I
him
mean,
that rock. I mean, it's great.
fair, but it's not
so
a high
good.
bar.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh my
People,
god.
people give Resident Evil 5 so much crap, but I love that game. When it all comes down to it, I do like that game a lot. With a friend. It's
Okay.
fun. It's fun with a friend. It is not fun if you're
Always
playing
fun.
with the computer. If you have a friend,
I can't confirm. Not fun with the computer. Did
With-
that? Not a fan.
with a player person and on veteran difficulty, it's a lot of fun. So
I can see that.
the
So-
story's shit. The story is terrible. The game is fun.
That's fair. I feel like it's kind of like that generation of Resident Evil's Army of Two. Like Army of Two was really fun if you had a bunch of Mountain Dew and a buddy to play with. And we're just gonna like grind it out and beat it.
Yep.
But if you wanted to play a serious game or a real game, like just forget
That wasn't it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've probably played Resident Evil 5 just as much as I played any other game in the series, honestly. Yeah.
Hmm.
I have a buddy who we at least once a year go through that game.
That's some dedication to that game.
It's fun. I own it on every system.
Now I know how Capcom was able to make more games. No.
I don't own Resident Evil 6 anymore though, so
That's good. That's good.
Understandable.
yeah,
The worst one.
it's awful. No, it's not the worst one, but it's bad.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I have a new worst Resident Evil game. Recently.
I was gonna ask
Really?
you,
Yeah.
right? I was gonna ask you what your favorite one is, but I think I'm gonna ask this first.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite Resident Evil?
So I recently played Resident Evil Revelations for the first time. The first Revelations. It takes place in between 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot garbage.
Okay.
It was originally, from what I understand, I had never played it because it was originally a 3DS game, I think, that was ported over to every other system.
Yep.
And it just does not translate well to any other system.
Right.
And I think that's what the story is terrible. The characterization of all the characters is terrible. The women characters in it, like they do with all games, they make them look like they're wearing these ridiculous outfits, and it's like, why are you? Doesn't go in with the story. It's stupid. It's just there's a guy that looks like
zombie apocalypse. Why are you wearing that?
there's a guy that looks like a ripoff of Conan O'Brien in it, and like there's a guy that looks like Columbo. It's like they took character designs from real life people and just threw them in the game, and I just did not enjoy it.
Okay.
It has shit mechanics in it too. So I did not finish it. I played it on stream and I did not finish it. I got to
Oh.
almost the end of it and I was like, I'm done playing this game. That's the only Resident Evil game that I've started and have not finished because I couldn't
Oh.
finish it. I at least finished Resident Evil 6 all the way through.
Okay. Bravo to you, because
yeah.
6 was hot garbage to me. I was so
I played
mad.
I played all scenarios of Resident Evil 6, and I couldn't even finish Revelations. Couldn't even finish it.
Okay. So
Fair enough.
it is. So then, okay, let me ask you this then. What is your favorite Resident Evil?
Resident Evil 2 on PS1. And the reason I didn't pick Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 1, the original is great too. It's my second favorite. But Resident Evil 2 is the first. I played the Resident Evil 2 first as a young one, and that was the first game I ever beat by myself with no god. And I was like 10.
Okay.
And so I have nostalgia glasses on, so that's my favorite game. And I've played it recently. I've played the original version recently, like within the past 6 months, and I still think that game holds up
Yeah, that
to
game's
this
great.
day. To this day, I still think it holds up as the best Resident Evil game.
Who help me out, because it's been a long time. The 2 is the one you have kind of like the scene or the area where you have to hide, and then you got the big dude like on the catwalk, right? In the trying to
Resident Evil 2
remember.
is with Claire and Leon. It's 2 different scenarios, 2 disc. Takes place in
Leon.
the police station.
I might not have played
And
that one. There's
and then if you play it in a certain way, you have Mr. X in one scenario and you don't have him in another scenario, but you have to play in a specific way, which is really cool too, because it
Okay.
gives it replay value. Because if you play it as Leon A or Claire A and Leon B, you get Mr. X. But if you play it as Leon A and Claire B, you don't get Mr. X. And some of the items are swapped around in each scenario too, which they didn't do a lot of that for games back then. You didn't get different
No.
scenarios like that at all. And if you did, it was the exact same. It was just slightly different. This
I
thing can
think
be played
that's
completely different.
I think that's one of the reasons why the Resident Evil series started to have so much clout behind it. I mean, you look
Mhm.
at games like that did that stuff was just crazy and wild and
Yeah.
out of the box. But man, they played around with PS1 games so much. Like Metal Gear Solid, the Metal Gear Solid
yeah.
that they released for PlayStation 1, making the controller vibrate, reading your
Yes.
memory card,
I
and
think we've talked about this recently.
yeah,
And that Metal Gear Solid 1 was fantastic.
yeah.
Oh, it was so good
yeah.
because of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like having to go back, like you couldn't fight Sniper Wolf in the walkway unless you had to go back and find the diazepam and all this stuff. And
Yep.
like that they don't do stuff like that anymore hardly.
No.
It seems like.
Even
Yeah,
down
it
to
was a very
Sorry, go ahead.
like inventive, like experimental type. That's
Yeah.
why I contend that the PS1 is like the best generation, not just like from a nostalgia standpoint, because it was just
I can agree with that.
so experimental,
Yeah.
like consistently.
There
Well,
was so many games that came out on PS1 that were so good.
Yeah.
look
It
at
really
Monster
was.
Rancher. Like it was not a high tier title. It was not an A1 title, but pardon me. But putting another disc in that you had in order to produce random monsters and stuff. That kind of stuff just never happened in other games, like where other things that you owned mattered, and like I don't know. It's PS1. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
PS1 was such a weird time in gaming, but they weren't afraid to take chances.
Yeah.
And I feel like we as the community, the gaming community, of expecting so much from developers have kind of ruined creativity in the space, which sucks because the technology is so much better
So good.
now.
And the PS1, there was so many good horror games that come out on PS1 too. Like all the Resident Evil series basically came out on the PlayStation. Silent Hill, all the Silent Hill games were PlayStation 1 games, except for I think Silent Hill 4, I think was the first one to come on PS2. But still, they were still in that era of like they were as Fatal Frame was on there. There were so many good horror games. Parasite Eve, Clock Tower.
I never played
It's a
that one.
very
Never played.
it was terrible, but it was still it had some really good. It was I want to say it was point and click kind of thing, but it was super scary.
Okay.
But I mean, there wasn't a lot to it, but it was really scary, and it didn't do well, and that's probably why nobody's ever heard of it. But I remember playing it. So, because those are the games that got me started playing games, was Silent Hill and Resident Evil and Fatal Frame and Parasite Eve. I remember playing those games as a kid. It's weird, but that's the games I played.
No, I played those way too young as well. My very first PlayStation game, because I hadn't saved up enough to buy my own yet, was Jake's brother bought Resident Evil 1 and Silent Hill. And my first ever horror game and my first ever PlayStation game was Silent Hill. And that's still like I'm afraid to go play it again.
Oh, I replayed it recently.
Does it hold up?
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
no,
don't
it doesn't.
All right, I'm not gonna
sorry,
play
but
it. I'm not gonna play it.
It's on. I got it on because I have a PS3, and you can still go back and buy PS1 and PS2 games on PS3 Network.
Okay.
And you can get it for like $6 if you want. I mean, it's worth trying to get back into it. But I tried to, and it does not hold up as good as Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 do on that same era. The graphics, like it's the fog effects are just really bad. and the controls are really bad. Like I know the tank controls in Resident Evil were bad too, but after a few minutes, I got used to the Resident Evil 2 controls. I couldn't get used to the Silent Hill controls, and
Yeah,
that hurts my heart too. 'Cause
I
really
have
wanted it to be playable.
I
And
have
it's
such
not.
fond memories of that game. I don't think I want to go back and ruin it. Then, like,
And don't play the HD collection of Silent Hill 2 and 3 either. Apparently they're garbage too. Apparently it's super broken. Like they didn't fix a bunch of stuff. It never got support, and they're hot garbage too. Apparently, I don't think we'll ever get a remake of those games. Unfortunately,
I don't
I
think
just don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think they're popular enough.
I don't think
Honestly,
they are either. I don't think they are either.
like,
Which sucks because I loved
Yeah.
them. I would love to see a remake or a reboot.
same. I mean, look at. I think our only chance of seeing that was if the movies had done really, really well.
Yeah.
And they did not do well.
Yeah. I had
I
high
mean,
hopes for PT, but
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah.
they were gonna reboot it.
and now there's this like thing going on with Blue Box Gaming Studios, who may or may not be making PT again. It's called Abandon. Actually, I'm gonna have the Abandon experience or whatever it's called is on PS5 tomorrow. They're supposed to have a trailer out to actually tell what this game is.
Okay.
And there's all these rumors that it's actually Hideo Kojima like in the background pulling the strings, and he's making a new Silent Hill game, and like the rumors and the conspiracy theories are fantastic. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing what it's about.
Interesting.
And
If
it's
that
probably not. It's not going to be Silent Hill, but if it does, I may freak out a little bit. I may freak out a little bit. I may go on a Twitter rant and be really happy tomorrow. We'll find out.
I'll be looking forward to it.
I'll be really pissed.
I'd also be down for just like a Kojima like spiritual sequel to
Yeah.
Silent Hill. That'd be
Yeah.
cool too.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
I would too.
I would
would
be
too.
down for a Kojima game that is just Kojima doing Kojima things.
Yeah, just
Like-
him being weird.
He
Yeah,
does
him just being weird.
amazing stuff when there's not someone breathing
Mhm.
and looking over his shoulder and be like, no, you need to change that. You need to do that. Like,
He really does.
I can't
He's a
sell
great.
this.
He's a great game director.
yeah.
For sure.
So we got so far off from but like, I love it because his natural conversation and what we started talking about answered so many of my questions. Because I was going to ask if you were into other horror genres
Yeah.
and horror games and stuff.
When I started my Twitch channel, that was going to be my thing. It was going to be horror type games and stuff like that. And then I kind of fell into just doing Resident Evil games, which is great too. Resident Evil is going to be a big part of my stream always. But
Right.
now I've kind of gotten to where I want to go and do some different type games. Like I've been playing a lot of Tarkov lately, and I fell in love with that game. I
It's
don't know
fun.
why. I have fell in love with it. I have a very big love-hate relationship with it right now, but I'm having such a blast with it.
It makes
So
sense. though.
Tarkov's being kind of woven into my content now because I want to be I want to make Tarkov content.
I feel like it's the closest thing that we have to a horror shooter in the modern
Yeah.
game
I
era.
get scared all the time in that freaking game. A gunshot goes off randomly near me. I'm like, what the hell was that?
It's such a suspense. Like there's no
Yeah.
horror aspect to it. There's no
Mhm.
monsters or anything, but the suspense and the realism is
good.
so high.
The
You can-
sounds you hear,
Yes.
like just walking through the game, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
you
awesome.
just-
you can get randomly
super-
shot from
from nowhere.
nowhere and you're done.
Yeah.
And there's no kill cam saying, "Oh yeah, it was a sniper 30 yards away." And
Yeah.
no, you're just done.
Just dead. You're
Yep.
done. You're gone. You lost your stuff if you didn't insure it, and you still may not get it back.
Yep.
just super focused on the screen. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
hear a gunshot from behind you for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Or you or you're scavving and you walk past a scav and you wiggle at them. They're like, "Yeah, cool, we're cool." And then you walk past them, they shoot you in the back of the head.
Or you're laying down looting and your
Mhm.
team shoots you in the head. Yeah.
Oh.
David's not done that.
Shut up, Kyle.
David's not done that.
But yeah, there will always be some type of horror element in my like. I'm gonna start playing Evil Within very soon, which is
Okay.
also from the director of the first 5 Resident Evil games. Really good game. So there's always gonna be some element of Resident Evil and horror in my content.
Okay.
Back for Blood is my new.
Oh,
it's gonna
Back
be
for Blood is so good.
It's gonna be. I think that's gonna be my main for a while too when it comes out. So I'm looking
Oh, yeah.
forward to playing more of it.
Yeah.
So-
No, that's one game I can't wait to share with these two because I was in on the closed beta,
Yeah.
and they didn't
It's
get a
open
chance
beta
to.
now.
No,
it's
it does.
good.
Open beta doesn't launch till the 12th.
Till the 12th.
I
Yeah.
thought it
Yeah.
said the October 5th. Well,
It's
no, the
12th
5th.
is the August 12th
Yeah.
through the 5th, 16th.
August, Kyle.
and the game
just remember
comes out
seeing
the 12th
something.
of October.
Saying
But yeah,
8.5 was it open beta. But whatever.
That was the
The
opening
closed.
of the closed beta. It was
Yeah, the
8.5 to
early
8.9.
access.
So it's technically probably still up right now. Because it ends 8.9 unless they took
Yeah.
the servers down. But then open beta for everyone opens 8.12.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
worth checking out.
the first game I've been plugged into for a while too, which
Yeah.
I kind of have to thank you and Camilla, but also Jake for, because like when they first announced it, Jake was like, "Hey, this is a game we have to get and play because this is going to be
Yeah.
great for our style of content." I said, "Okay, cool, yes," and then lost
Yeah.
track of it. And then
I heard about it several months ago. I was like, "Oh hell yeah, Left 4 Dead like top game. It's gonna be awesome." And I forgot about it till like 2 weeks ago when they announced the beta. I was like, "Yeah."
Camilla told me that she was going to be playing it, and I went, "Oh," and I went and
Yeah.
pre-ordered it that night.
Yeah. Yeah. It got back on my radar real quick, and I pre-ordered it myself too. I was like, okay, because I loved Left 4 Dead, and this. I think this game improved on a lot of Left 4 Dead could have done if they had kept going. So
Fair enough.
I like the new improvements to it.
Okay.
I know that's been fairly contentious within like the Left 4 Dead like fandom. That there's sort
Yeah.
of been a split of people who love the changes and then
Yeah.
the people who are like, I hate these changes.
Yeah,
It changes it too much.
Some people just don't want to move on.
Yeah.
Ooh. Games
So,
evolve.
And I get it. Like Resident Evil 7, I mean, look at Resident Evil. It had to evolve. It couldn't do the tank controls anymore. It had to move on to something else. And first person seemed to be the way to go. They finally figured out that the first person, and I mean, even with like Resident Evil 4, it did good with the behind the shoulder, but I think the first person really changed the game because 7 and 8 were fantastic. I'm a big fan.
I love Resident Evil 4 for just the
Oh,
stupid
yeah.
things that the costumes come
Oh,
with.
that's great. Yeah.
Love having Ashley armored up and
Yeah,
then just
and the
jump
full-
from the top of the
A
ladder.
full suit of armor, and he catches her, and she's like,
It's great. Best part.
"Oh, that was so that was great."
For me, the first person made the jump scares, and it returned to the horror. Because for me,
Yeah,
third person games like that, I don't get jump scared.
Yeah, it really returned it back to the horror genre. It did. It took it. I mean, it's still action oriented, but it injected the horror back into the action as well. So I think it equalized it better than what they tried to do with 5 and 6 and 4.
My favorite clip ever from 7 is, and Jake knows immediately where I'm going.
I don't know what you're talking about, David.
Is he's walking around with his knife out, and he's in first person, and he's had a bunch of like intense moments happening, and he's just gotten past some jump scares, and he's going up this stairwell with the knife out, and the wind mechanic blows a curtain in front of him, and he just like loses his shit and starts slashing at it, and like runs around, turns around, slashes at it 2 more times, and then he's like, oh shit, oh, it's a curtain. but you get so many more.
Pretty sure that footage was doctored, but go on.
That's great.
But you get so many more moments like that, I think, in the first person, where things that aren't supposed to be scary can scare you, and then those are the moments that to me, tell me that I'm playing a good horror game. When things that weren't supposed to scare me.
Scare you.
Mm-hmm.
Fear. Now, those games don't, or at least the first one doesn't hold up either.
The first one doesn't hold up. It doesn't.
No. But
it was so good when it came out, though.
And I remember
Call of Duty with Ghost. It's like, yes.
Yep. And I remember Rooster Teeth did a little thing mocking it, and it was hilarious. They called it Panics, but like, and I remember walking down hallways and lights would flicker, and you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Mhm.
And then the ghost girl would appear, and you'd shoot at her instead of being scared, and just like, I was more scared by the ambience of that game playing it the first time than I was the actual like psychic creepy ghost chick. Like,
Yeah.
And I love games like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's why Phasmo annoys me so much, because it's supposed to be such this big horror game and everyone's into it.
Yeah, Phasmo's not scary. It's not. It's fun. It's funny more than it's scary. Like I have more laughs playing Phasmo than I do scares. Because
Yeah.
people act crazy in Phasmo and it cracks me up. Like the shit, like just talking shit to the ghost cracks me up.
So that's me.
Yeah, I love talking shit to the ghost, and that's what I like. That's what I like about it is you can do that.
Yeah. I die all the time because I go off
Yeah,
by
I do too.
myself, and
I never
I'm
have
like,
any money to buy any equipment.
yep.
It's like, hey, y'all, can y'all buy some flashlights? I'm fresh out again because I died last round again.
Walk in a house. All right, William Turner, fight me, bitch.
Where's my
Get
chicken
out of here.
nuggets
Get out
at?
of
That's
here. Your mother said to get out of here.
The other thing I do is I go to all the bathrooms and pretend to take a shit
Yeah.
in the houses and stuff, and be like, all right, ghost, leave me alone.
I saw a clip of somebody asking the Ouija board one time, "Did you poop in this house?" And it started to spell out yes.
Oh, that's
Like,
amazing.
That's great. Why didn't I think of that?
Right? Yeah, no, that's why I stopped playing Phasma. Like, I played it a
Yeah.
few times, and I know there's, for whatever reason, there's a huge crowd for it right now.
Massive. It's massive.
Like, I've seen little like streamers who had they didn't post content other places and stuff. They're up there at, like, between 15 to 20 viewers,
Yeah.
just because they're playing Phasmo at the right time of day. And it's like,
love it.
oh, all
People
right.
love it. I don't actually watch Phasmo streams anymore.
Me either.
And I mean, like I said, I decently like the game, but it's not what it's not scary. It's just a fun game to play with a group of friends.
Yeah.
And there's not hardly any content there. I tried to post Phasmo content on TikTok and it doesn't do well.
And that's what I want. I want a horror game that gives me the feeling. I remember the feeling of the first time I played Silent Hill. And then I didn't feel that again until I played Fear. The first one of that. And then, like, I want a game that gives me that. I want to be scared to look
played
around a corner.
Have you played Visage?
I haven't played Visage yet, but watching it on stream, I don't know. Maybe it's different, but
it's terrifying.
yeah,
It's terrifying.
maybe I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
All right.
Give it a shot. Visage, if you don't know, is PT basically. Like it was inspired by PT. So it was inspired by Silent Hill. It's a Silent Hill fan game basically. So
Gotcha.
give it a try. Give it a try.
I'll have to look into it because
It's tough. The controls are terrible. So if you can change the controls, like if you can bind them differently, like there's like a mechanic with like opening doors, it's just awful. So mess with the controls a little bit. I would if you can catch it on sale because it's still like $35 or something. Try to catch it on sale.
Yeah.
And it's worth giving a shot if you can get it for cheap. I think.
Okay.
I think you'll enjoy it.
I'll have to give it a shot. I like horror games where I can shoot the bad guys, but I also like shooting the bad guys and it not doing anything. Which again is part of why I love Silent Hill and all of that.
Mhm.
Like, I love moments where you turn and suddenly the map changes on you, and now you've got this big monster chasing you, and you shoot at it and it doesn't do anything, and you're just like, oh shit.
Have you played the Medium as well?
Haven't played that. I have seen it.
The Medium is very Silent Hill inspired too, and I enjoy. That was the first game that I streamed on Twitch.
Really?
Like the first full game I streamed from beginning to end was the Medium, and I really enjoyed it. And that was supposedly the company that was supposed to take over the Silent Hill series, but ended up not.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there, but it's very Silent Hill inspired too. But it's got good story to it too.
Yeah, I think
Dead Space 1.
Dead Space 1 was good.
Dead Space 1 was good.
Dead Space 2 start falling off, and Dead Space 3
was
just don't play.
Yeah.
They tried to co-op Dead Space 3.
Oh.
When they introduced the co-op, it messed it up.
Yeah, no. It's all about being alone.
Yeah.
The last
Yeah.
horror games we played were Amnesia and Amnesia Rebirth, which are
Amnesia's
both
good.
very good. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
super happy with the way those turned out.
Yeah.
Um,
Amnesia can be creepy as hell.
oh,
Yeah, it
especially
does
the
a very
first
good
one.
job of
Yes.
environmental
Yes.
horror stuff in those games are so good.
Man.
Like the
Ooh.
monsters are whatever, but the
Yeah.
environmental stuff is perfect.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I
No
I enjoyed Amnesia too.
No
Yeah,
way to
I did.
defend yourself.
Dude, Amnesia in the labyrinth, I'll never forget that because you know, when you're in the dark too long and everything starts encroaching on your screen,
Mhm.
hear the bugs crawling and you're going crazy and you're going through the dark labyrinth and then all of a sudden one of the monsters pops out and starts chasing you and you have no clue of remembering like where you came from. So you're blindly running back through this labyrinth of gates. That is awful and terrifying and horrible, and I love it. It was perfect.
It was great. Yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I was glad I played that one.
Yeah. And the puzzle aspects were good too. Which,
Yeah, yeah. If you throw a good puzzle into my horror games, I'm really happy. That's another reason I think the Resident Evil series hits like it does with me too. Is the puzzle elements to it.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's no, I absolutely agree with that. But yeah, if we could get a modern, that's what I want. I want a modern day like Fear, but drag it out a little more with more and like flush it out with more story. With give it like Silent Hill level of story, or at least what I remember Silent Hill story being, because I remember as a kid it was so in depth.
The story was still good. It was just
Okay.
the gameplay that didn't hold up. The
Okay.
story still held up. It was just the gameplay.
Yeah. So if we
The
can,
story still is great.
if we can do like a Fear play style type of game with a Silent Hill level of story on it, I think it'd be like my perfect horror game. That's what I want. Get on it, Hideo Kojima.
Get on it. I'll tweet at him later.
That's right, yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
So-
but if he doesn't, you know you'll be collecting like stills from a bunch of American movies the whole time. Like, why am I watching a scene from Pulp Fiction in the middle of this horror game? This is weird. It's working though. I
weird.
like it.
I mean, look, if the monsters come out of the corner and say and just look at you and say what again, motherfucker, like that's good enough. Like that's fine. I take it.
Just pops a head out of a door. What up?
Just don't let him bring Tarantino in.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Leave Tarantino out of it.
Yeah, too many feet then. Anyways. So I had actually another thing to talk to you about, but we're getting closer to the time and I don't know if it'll ruin Jake's segment. So I'm going to vaguely touch on it.
Okay.
Because I know that I see a Batman statue behind you, sir.
Yeah.
So, first question, DC or Marvel? Which one's better?
I'm a bigger fan of Marvel's characters overall, but Batman's always been my favorite.
Okay.
So I enjoy Marvel stuff more, but I love Batman. Batman's
Okay.
awesome.
So you're like the other people. You hang on to DC for one character.
For one character, because Superman's a Boy Scout and he does not interest me at all. Green Lantern's never really interested me.
Fair.
But Batman's always been an interesting kind of story for me.
Okay. I mean, look, Batman's not bad, so I can't I love Batman. I've read a lot of Batman. I can't say anything. I love comics. I love DC. I know, I think maybe in some respects more about DC comics than Jake does. There's some of the DC stuff that I have very intimate knowledge of. And then there's some of their big titles that I couldn't tell you shit about.
Yeah.
But which I think is also why I like Marvel more, is because they have more obscure, like random ass comics and just goofy characters. But can't really talk about that because I know Jake hasn't seen it. Have you seen the new Suicide Squad?
You guys can talk about it. Go ahead.
I have.
Oh my
I have.
God.
What did you think of it?
That is the most comic book movie that we have seen yet. And
100%, and it hit perfect.
I
think it was great.
Yes, it was a DC comic. James Gunn is not afraid to do comics in the movies.
And they let him do comics.
Yes.
They give him the ability to do it. They don't take it away like they do anybody else. They're like, James Gunn, do what you do. Just do it.
I'm gonna spoil the movie for you. I'm sorry, Jake, but I have to.
It's great.
It's so good. What did you think about when they reveal Starro?
I didn't think they were gonna go. I didn't think they was gonna do a full reveal at first, because in the game, like I was thinking, I saw the game trailer recently, and Starro's in the game trailer too, and I was like, oh, that was the game trailer. He's not gonna be in the movie too. And so I was thoroughly impressed that they actually went with Starro in all that glory that they went with him with. It was cool.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was awesome.
You had everything short of actually taking over the superheroes from the Starro's stories in
cool.
there. They managed, they managed to do Starro without bringing in Superman and Wonder Woman and all these other easy crutches,
and without making it look bad. Like they did it well. They did it. He did it well.
Now,
because most time characters like that just don't turn out well.
No,
with real life characters.
But it's
in movies.
They do it in such a way, and they embrace so much of the movie before that has embraced the comic book goofiness. I mean, they brought freaking Polka Dot Man in.
Yeah. And John Cena was hilarious. John Cena cracked me up the whole movie. He was perfect. He was perfect.
So good. And I love Idris Elba as Bloodsport. So good.
The characters, even the older characters, are better in this movie than they were in the first Suicide Squad movie.
And they brought Ratcatcher. Yeah. Technically Ratcatcher 2.
But Ratcatcher 1 was in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi was in there as Ratcatcher.
I love Taika Waititi, man.
I do too.
But
he's great.
Like, to see them bring these little characters that most people have no clue who they are and make them big players like this, and then to take the characters that people do know from the first scene where they just murder them all. So good, and so in line with the Suicide Squad comics, where they're like, hey, here's all these people you know, now they're dead.
And the way they hyped all the characters up and all the trailers and stuff building up to it, and then half of them weren't even in the movie more than 15-20 minutes, and it was great.
It was so good.
I'm a little upset too, because there's a couple of characters I would have liked to have seen more of.
True. I think Pete Davidson as casting for Blackguard was
I wanted
perfect.
to see his character. I wanted to see more of his character. That's one of the characters I wanted to see more of. And Nathan Fillion's character.
Oh.
I wanted to see more of him too.
Wait, Nathan Fillion.
TDK.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was Nathan Fillion. Yeah, he dies so quick, I forgot. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, he's TDK, which is I love the introduction of TDK because that's exactly the way it is in the comics.
Yeah.
I love Savant.
Savant was
What's his name?
Good.
Played Yondu. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, it's Yondu and is in Walking Dead.
Michael Rooker.
Yeah, Rooker. Yeah,
Rooker. Yeah, big horror guy back in the day.
Yeah.
Seeing him play Savant and then seeing him like bitch out and run before getting murdered.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. I was looking to get disappointed, and I wasn't.
It's a DC movie. I don't blame you.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
If they let James Gunn take over the DC cinematic universe, we might have the best era of comic book anything ever.
Yeah.
Like DC needs to sign James Gunn
to just be like the overseer.
Yes.
Don't even let him direct it. Just let him pick and run it. Like,
he needs to be Kevin.
He needs to be Kevin. Yeah, Kevin Feige. That's who he needs to be. 100%. I would agree with that. I would let him do that. I think he could do it.
It'd be interesting.
If James Gunn runs the DC universe, then DC gets good movies again.
Yeah.
And you get to see craziness. Like the way they did, I know a lot of people after, because they're not really old school fans. A lot of people didn't like at first the way that they did Nanawe
Mhm.
But I loved it. It was in line with some of the older King Shark
Yeah.
stuff.
See, I don't know much of King Shark stuff, but I did like King Shark in the movie. So
A lot of people are used to the way the Flash
yeah,
introduced him and the way that the new animated Harley Quinn introduced him,
Mhm.
and he did have some runs in the comics like that. But old school Nanawe, old school King Shark was not like, he could talk, but he was not intelligent. He was just hyper smart for a shark,
Shark.
which still wasn't very
A lot.
bright. Yeah. And the fact that they introduce him reading a book upside down and pretending to read a book is just perfect comic book King Shark introduction.
That's cool. See, I didn't know I don't know that character very well. So, but I thought they did, I thought they did great with all the characters. I think they all hit well in the movie. So they all make a good impression. So
No, I that movie, I always love to talk to other comics fans about these things, and especially movies that are done well, because oh my god, it was like reading a comic book watching that
it
movie,
was
and
good. I'm gonna watch it again later. Actually, now that I think about it, I'll probably watch it before I go to bed. It's on HBO Max. Might as well.
I would love to watch it again. I would love to watch it with Jake, because Jake is like my comic.
I would love to watch it, David.
I know. Jake is doing a project where for this entire year, he called it the year of the algorithm. He is letting predictive algorithms run every part of his life that he can. So like down to the amount of steps he takes. He tries to stick within his Fitbit allotted steps. He stays within his allotted calories for the day. From a fitness app, he only watches the recommended and for you stuff on all of his apps. He only listens to recommended music.
Yeah, and you know what doesn't have any sort of recommendation algorithm built into it at
HBO
all?
Max.
HBO Max, yeah.
It's a
Can't
terrible
watch anything
app.
on it. Yep,
It is
it's
such
awful.
a terrible app. God, it's built so bad.
At the beginning of the year, they kind of had a recommended section that was like hidden within the search function, but even that's gone now, so I just can't watch anything on that
It's
app.
such a bad app.
Yep. And that's what kills poor Jake here. So we have one of the most comic booky movies of the year, and I can't even like discuss it with him in depth because he hasn't seen it. It makes me sad.
One of my favorite directors, yeah.
Oh,
it's a bummer.
That's a bummer. Your sheer willpower is amazing though, because I'd have been like, nope, I'm watching it. Sorry.
No, he sticks to it. The only time he watches anything outside of it is we do another podcast that's just audio, and so he'll watch stuff for content. And like we've guested on other people's podcasts talking about pop culture stuff, and we watch their stuff. But other than that,
any podcasters out there want me on to talk about suicide?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to start a podcast next week, and it's going to be Suicide Movie Squad only. That's all we're going to talk about. So I recommend that you watch that and be on the show. Okay,
we're there.
Loophole found.
One time run. There we go.
That's right. Single episode run. We'll just throw it in throw it in OBS real quick. Oh, that's funny. All right, so I'm gonna play the drop real quick, and then we're gonna move into Jake's segment, which is called Shenanigans.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Shenanigans! Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
All right, Jake.
Okay, we have our first repeat game for Shenanigans. As I am bringing back for this episode, make it canon or are we banning, or whatever the fuck I called it the first time.
It was make it canon or get to banning, Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I considered like 10 different names. I couldn't remember which one I actually went with.
You should have gone with the new name, Jake, and then just passed it off as a brand new game.
No. But because you see, the great thing about this game is that it has long-term consequences for this podcast. Because anything that we ban in this game is banned from all future discussion in the podcast. We previously did Star Wars, which we ended up banning about half of the Star Wars movies.
I don't know
And-
what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's so crazy that they never made a Han Solo movie after all that hype. Like, it's so
Yeah,
weird.
Really? That's crazy.
You'd think they would have, but apparently not. But today we are going to be playing the MCU edition. We are going to go through the entire MCU,
All right.
and we are either going to canonize or ban every single MCU movie. The way it'll work is we will go through in turn order. You get one action, essentially. You can either choose to canonize a movie. Once it's canonized, it cannot be touched. No one else can do anything to it. Or you can ban a movie, meaning we can no longer discuss it, and we will pretend as if it does not exist. Forevermore. It might be helpful just because there are so many of them that there is a list of every MCU movie that's fairly well organized on Wikipedia, and we are including the Incredible Hulk, which is the only kind of contentious is it canon or isn't it movie of the MCU.
Let's see.
But as our guest, we will go ahead and start with you. You can choose any movie in the MCU to get rid of permanently or to protect. What would you like to do?
Can we just get rid of the Hulk movie? Let's just get it out of the way.
Okay, banning the Incredible Hulk. I like
That's
it.
fair. That's fair.
Just get it out of here.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, if nothing else, for the sake of simplifying the continuity, I think that is
exactly.
a solid choice. Because boy, if that movie's canon, the Civil War stuff really makes Iron Man look like a huge piece of shit for siding with Thunderbolt Ross.
Didn't even think about that, but yeah,
I'm comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable with it too.
Iron Man confirmed piece of shit.
I mean, fair, but it just removes all deniability.
Fair.
We'll go over to you now, David. What would you like to either canonize or ban?
There are so.
There are.
I have to think about this. Now, this is just MCU. This is not TV verse, right?
Yes. Yeah, only the movies.
Okay, good. Because I got a bone to pick with some. Let's get rid of Thor: The Dark World. We're gonna ban it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, David. There you go.
I like all the early banning going on.
I concur with that.
Yeah.
Pretty bad movie.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm glad you made this decision because I was going back and forth on it.
Nah, I was trying to find what Thor movie was the worst.
It's that one. It's
that one.
That's definitely that one.
But by a long shot.
Yeah.
Your turn, Kyle. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna safeguard Captain America, the first Avenger.
Kyle, thank you.
No, because now I know what he's gonna canon. No.
Because you see, unlike Star Wars, where I was, very focused on banning, I was planning on being very protective, specifically of some Captain America movies, which is why I'm gonna canonize Captain America: Winter Soldier, maybe the best MCU movie, up there with Black Panther. It's his only competition. It's so good.
It is good. It is good.
David is not a fan, which is why I knew
it is highly overrated. put way too much into Bucky. There's nothing of substance, and they also treated one of the greatest villains of those two like they were just some backwater like roundabouts that could be taken down with a couple dudes. Like Hydra had no real threat. There never felt like any of the threat. Nothing in the movie felt like it was of consequence. Like, it all felt like if they failed, Iron Man would just show up and fix it anyways. So, like, I don't know. It just, the movie's tone didn't seem dire at all.
Doesn't Iron Man just show up to fix it all at the end anyways?
Yeah. I know.
Either way.
Mm.
I mean, at the end of all of it, it kind of fixes everything. So,
But, yeah, I know. So,
Yeah.
it's a good movie, but it's just not, it's not worth all the hype that Jake gives it.
Some would say it's the second greatest movie ever made, but you know, it's fine. It's canon. It's canon. You lose, David.
I hate you so much.
That brings us back to you, RN. What would you like to do?
I'm going to canonize Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Solid choice.
Dude, that Marvel really stepped out of their comfort zone with giving that to James Gunn. And it's like, again, like we talked with James Gunn, they're just like, do it. And he turned out some really good characters and a really good story, I think. And they fit into the greater universe.
Yeah.
And so yeah, canonize Guardians of the Galaxy, 100%.
Great choice.
Fair.
And what would you like to do, David?
There are too many choices here because I know there's a ton of ways you could screw with me still. I hate you so much. You know what? I think that one's safe. I'm gonna canonize Doctor Strange.
Son of a bitch.
Yes!
You knew I was coming for him.
I sure did. Look, I love Doctor Strange. I have a collection of the Defenders comic books solely because Doctor Strange was the leader of the Defenders during the run of the Defenders comics that I have. Doctor Strange is a very interesting character to me. I like Benedict Cumberbatch's portrayal of him. So Jacob
Doctor Strange is great. I'd love to see him in a movie someday.
He is exactly like the comics. Benedict Cumberbatch did a good job. The only thing he isn't doing, which is partly the writing, is he's not as passive aggressive, which there are still some passive aggressive scenes, but he's not as passive aggressive as Doctor Strange is in the comics, which is good. He doesn't need to be a complete asshole, just a partial.
I won't argue with you since you got it before me, but no, that movie sucks. What would you like to do, Kyle?
I'm gonna ban Iron Man.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Of all Iron Man, you pick that one?
Just
Iron Man
number one. Number one.
There's no MCU without Iron Man.
You can't do that.
He's so 2 and 3. You just don't know his beginning story.
Kyle!
3 I'd like to erase from my mind.
Oh my god.
Especially 3.
Well, we'll get to that. But Kyle. What the fuck?
Right? I hate you so much.
This has thrown me for a loop.
Right? This is where we get super like famous with this podcast. We bring Kevin Feige on, and then we're like, so what was it like starting with Iron Man 2 as your first movie? You're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Excuse me?
Oh.
See,
I
I think you'd have a good laugh.
I know what I need to protect on the list from David, but I don't know what the fuck to expect from Kyle now.
Right? This is the real chaos corner.
Right?
I was going through the list. I was like, what ones can I ban that would I just Ant-Man? Nah, I don't really care for it that much. I know they don't care for that much. Let's go with the first one.
Yeah, you're right. We don't care about it. Leave my movies alone.
Oh my god. What do I do after that?
Yeah, you better start focusing on protecting from Kyle.
Oh, 100%. God.
Oh, I've already got my next
Uh,
pick out.
How much of a monster is Kyle? That's
I
not-
don't know.
I have to canonize Black Panther.
Right? Yeah, that's a good.
Apparently.
A great movie.
I didn't think it was in any danger until fucking Kyle came in, guns blazing, but I guess now.
Oh, Jake, I was gonna canonize that next.
That would have been the right choice.
You put the fear of God in me, Kyle. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's RN's
Okay.
run now.
Yeah.
So y'all don't throw any wrenches in. I'm gonna canonize the first Avengers movie.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta protect
Yeah.
the Avengers movie. Come on now.
Yeah. Kyle.
David, what are you doing?
Looking at the list because this, like, do I protect something I love or do I piss off Jake? Is my choice here. Like,
Look,
Uh,
it was either gonna be a video of us just like protecting a massive Marvel, or is someone gonna just start picking off some?
no, there was plenty that are in contention.
Yeah, that's just a crazy choice to pick off.
right. And I am
There's
gonna.
a lot of things you could have picked.
I agree, and I am gonna follow RN's lead in protecting a franchise and a series, and as such, I'm gonna canonize Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I thought you.
That's another bad.
It needs to be protected, but
Does it though? Does it?
It does.
Is it the worst MC movie? movie?
it's
Yes,
the worst.
but you know.
It's the worst Avenger. It's the worst Avengers movie. It's not the worst
Yes.
MCU movie.
Correct.
It is the worst.
I disagree. I think it's the worst MCU movie.
No.
Ooh.
Jake just is troubled by Ultron's appearance, and so
That's-
he
that's
can't
part
get
of it.
over it.
I think
And
James
also-
Spader. I think James Spader as Ultron was fantastic, though.
Great voice. Great
Great
voice.
voice.
Yeah,
Great
I agree.
voice. And that's
Good
what
cast.
made that movie not the worst in the franchise
Mm.
or in the universe.
I,
Just
I,
his voice alone,
I agree. Good.
because
Well-
there's a worse movie.
Yes,
Well,
there is.
It's protected now. What are you doing, Kyle?
I'm gonna canonize Captain Marvel.
Okay.
It was a good
Good
movie.
choice.
Got a lot of undue hate. So
It
Yeah.
sure
I enjoyed
did.
it.
Well,
enjoyed
you
it.
know, how dare we put women in front of something?
No, right?
Hey, internet. Hey, fuck boys. Look at me.
Women
Fuck
are
you.
awesome, and
Yeah.
women rock.
Here's
Right.
here's what I don't
We need
understand.
women.
I love that movie. That
we
was
need
great.
women.
These are the same fuck boys who try to say things like, I got 8 hoes. Like, no, you
Yeah.
don't. Fuck
No, you
off.
don't. No,
You're
you
a
don't.
dumb. Yeah. But first of
We-
all,
we need women in this world.
hell yeah, we do.
100%.
And little boys like you can't handle a woman because she will chew
No.
you up and spit you out.
Nope.
Jesus
Nope.
fuck.
Nope.
Ugh. I'm sorry.
Ah.
I'm done yelling at the internet.
Ah.
You can keep going.
Well, for the sake, because I know it's going to be attacked from all angles, I'm going to have to canonize universally beloved Iron Man 3.
No!
Oh,
That was my next move was to ban that movie.
that's what I was gonna do. But now,
I had a feeling.
but now, but now
It's
I'm
a
gonna
good
have.
movie.
But now I'm gonna have to canonize 2, just because we can't have the worst MCU movie as the only Iron Man movie in the list.
Right?
So Iron Man 3 is the worst.
It's pretty bad.
Two is
It's
much.
really
Two
bad.
is much.
You-
no.
You have
No,
an
it's a
actor.
great movie.
You have an actor like the guy that played Adrian Killich. What's his name?
I don't know, remember.
Uh,
The
I
main,
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
fantastic actor, and he was terrible in that movie. He is great in everything he's ever been in except for that movie.
Are
And
we
he
talking
ruined
about
it.
Ben Kingsley or
No, not
What are you
Ben
talking
Kingsley.
No.
okay?
What's his, the guy that played the main villain? What?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
his
yeah, yeah,
damn
yeah,
name
yeah,
now.
yeah. I can't remember his name either. I know who you're talking about now.
I'm gonna have to look it up now
Uh,
because it's driving me
Three
crazy.
three was trash because I was
He was
expecting
in,
the
he was in
Mandarin.
Momentum. He was in Momentum, and he was
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah. That dude.
That movie's
That's
so
why
good.
I knew him, and that's why I. Is it?
Guy Pearce.
Yeah,
Yes,
Guy Pearce.
yes.
Guy Pearce.
I should have known it. We literally were on a podcast talking about Memento, and
Correct.
I think it's a great movie.
it's a
Chris
movie.
Nolan, man. Chris Nolan. Chris Nolan does no wrong. I'm just kidding. He does do wrong. He does do wrong.
Where's my drops? Where's the Inception sound? No.
Cannot
Boy,
too.
this list has turned out a lot more contentious than I thought it would.
Right?
I like it.
Okay, so Iron Man 2 was
You're up, David.
yeah, I'm just seeing if there's anything I need to ban or canonize to avoid you from banning it. Can't get rid of that now, damn it. Can't get rid of that now. That's protected. I don't think I need to protect that. Except for maybe from Kyle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you sure? We've got Kyle in the mix.
I'm going to, as a huge fan of this and just following trends, I guess. I grew up a huge fan of the Infinity War, so I'm gonna canonize Avengers Infinity War.
Okay, yeah. Seems like a non-controversial choice.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Very safe.
I agree with that.
Since we already got rid of the beginning, let's get rid of the second one. Let's get rid of Thor: The Dark World.
I already did.
Yeah, you
Oh,
already
did you?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do-
Dark
do-
World's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you mean Ragnarok, Kyle?
No, not Ragnarok.
Okay, because that's the most recent Thor movie.
No,
You're-
I
you're-
like that one.
You were gonna give me an aneurysm, Kyle.
Right.
You leave Taika Waititi alone.
No, Kyle won't get rid of that because it has Warworld Hulk in it. You got to remember who you're dealing with. This is the Hulk fan.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of disappointed with. It's like, oh, I understand it's a pretty mediocre movie, but it's still a Hulk movie.
Wait, was Iron Man a revenge killing, Kyle?
Yeah.
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, just like when I started looking at it here, I was like, where are the earlier Hulk movies that don't even relate to the MCU?
They're not MCU, so they don't
I
count.
know. You know what? I'm gonna stick to my pattern. I'm gonna get rid of Ant-Man.
Kyle!
I can hear it from my room.
Yeah. God damn it, Kyle.
But Paul Rudd!
There's still Ant-Man and the Wasp.
But Ant-Man was better.
I think they're pretty even.
Yeah.
And on that note, since apparently I have to protect Ant-Man from Kyle, I guess I canonize Ant-Man and the Wasp.
See, this is what it's going to become. It's me banning stuff, and you guys just canon, ban.
Well, I want to protect it all because I love it all.
Right?
So
Look, I just get sick of how much Jake gets. Iron Man 3, beloved. That's the only thing that I get angry at.
Does that movie
Yeah,
even exist?
Yeah,
Iron Man
it does.
Iron Man 3 being banned is the best thing that could have happened, but it didn't. So.
But it didn't. Yeah.
did not,
Why,
sadly.
why would it? Universally
didn't.
beloved. Everyone loves it.
So-
Back to you, Arid. What do you want to do?
Before somebody messes this up, I'm gonna protect Thor Ragnarok. I'm
Yeah, I'm fine with
canonizing it.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I'm gonna keep that one. That's
Mhm.
actually probably my favorite Thor movie. Actually, I think.
I don't really care for the other two.
100%.
I mean, the first one was it was okay. The blonde eyebrows too much, but
Yeah.
Ragnarok was good.
Ragnarok, one of the best in my opinion.
How it led up to what was coming.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Fuck.
David? What are you doing?
Rough.
Oh,
I want to keep that. I want to keep
this is
that.
good.
I want to keep that. We're
Wait,
down
no.
to just good movies. I think. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna hot take. And this is gonna probably get me some hate. I'm gonna ban Captain America: Civil
What
War.
am I fucking?
But
Okay.
let me explain. I like the movie. I think it's very, very good.
I have
think
problems.
with the evolution of the MCU that we have now,
Refreshing.
if we
There we
could
go.
redo that movie, I think we could make it better.
I could agree with that.
I want the Civil War that I deserve because I love so Civil War and Infinity War were my two favorite comic arcs growing up. So I'm gonna ban Civil War so that we can pretend like we're looking forward to Civil War when they finally do that arc.
Okay. Okay. I like Civil War, but I can understand. I can
I can too.
accept that.
I also
can too.
like it. I just think we can do better.
It's much more
and plus we
rational
got-
than Kyle's.
We got the new Spider-Man in Civil War. That was one of my favorite.
That is
parts
true.
Of that.
Yeah.
Them adding that in
Mhm.
without really telling anybody, and him just kind of being there was cool.
So good too. Such a good Spider-Man.
He is. He really is. I don't care what anybody
Absolutely.
says. I think he's perfect.
I am so mad at them for not releasing the freaking Far From Home trailer. Like, quit teasing us with set pictures. Just give me information, or just give me the movie. That would be
I
great.
don't even
Yeah.
think I'm gonna. Even though I want a trailer, I don't think I'm gonna watch it when it comes out. I
I'm
want
not
to go in
either.
blind.
I
I
kind
want
of
to
do.
go in blind.
So I had this
I want to go in
conversation.
knowing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I had this conversation
the
the
way
other
to
day.
go.
I'm so sick of movie trailers at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch them. I refuse to watch them unless it's a
Mm.
movie that I don't know anything about.
I only
I
want.
don't know anything. I don't know much about Shang-Chi, so I've seen trailers
Oh,
for
okay,
it. And I'm
yeah.
actually looking forward to that movie. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I hope they don't mess it up. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
I want a Far From Home trailer so that the TikTok guys that I follow about comic books can confirm whether or not Doctor Strange is involved in Far From Home. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Gotta be.
But I want it confirmed. And then
Yeah, I know.
once I know that, done.
Then you'll be
I,
happy.
yeah.
I got you. I got you.
Oh. Well, Kyle, we're back to you. What you doing?
Yeah, whose childhood are you killing now?
Wow. Childhood. Go read a comic.
Okay, I will.
The wall behind me.
movie.
See?
We're banning movies, not comics.
Yeah, no, you can't come for my comic collections. I will stab you.
Yeah, you stay away from my Hulks.
And have the Hulk.
Yeah,
Didn't I give you one of my Hulk comics?
I fucking took it.
That's fair.
Wow.
What's left?
I can run through the list if you'd like.
Yeah.
We've got Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming,
Did I ban
Avengers
Thor?
Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Black Widow.
I could have swore I banned Thor.
No. You ban Iron Man.
Yeah, you ban Iron Man, you psychopath.
Let's keep Black Widow safe.
Okay.
All the movies
Now,
left.
listen, I agree. I liked Black Widow.
Yeah, it's the
I
best
like
James
that
Bond
a lot.
movie ever made.
I think it came out at the wrong time, though.
That's fair.
I think
Yeah,
it should have came out
fair.
sooner,
Yeah.
but I liked it. So
I disapprove of all of the Twitter hate that got. Like,
Yeah.
there are some major content creators who I follow and who are kind of in some circles near
Mhm.
to some of our people that I wanted to reach through Twitter and slap because, like,
yeah,
it is totally unfair criticism of that movie. I think.
no, I thought it was well done. It just came. They should have done it 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When
mean-
she wasn't dead.
Yeah, Like you do it after you kill her off. Like
Yeah.
you should have had that story beforehand.
True.
I also
I think it'd have made her death better.
yeah.
Like, I think it'd have made it hit harder.
Yes, because you would have known more about her.
Mm-hmm.
She would have been something more than the tight leather that accompanies
Yeah.
Steve Rogers and Clint Barton.
100%.
Yeah, she's the only member of the Avengers that I have no opinion on. I don't dislike her. I don't like her. She's just kind of been there. I
liked
love
her.
the new Black Widow. She's
Yeah.
great. Already, after one movie, I'm like, yeah, this character's awesome.
You mean the Dark Widow?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're setting up the Dark Avengers.
Oh yeah, but in Dark Avengers, she was just Black Widow.
I know. But anyways. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how MCU fans who never read comics react when they reveal, hey, we're setting up the evil Avengers.
I'm so excited for it.
So am I.
And I'm so happy fucking Elaine Bennis is their leader. She's Madam Hydra. I approve.
Yep. So good.
Okay, well it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I feel like been, too preoccupied protecting things because of Kyle's early shenanigans.
No.
I'm gonna ban Thor. Get it out of there. We don't need it.
So you want the introduction to Thor to be Thor Ragnarok?
I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No,
I'm actually okay with that.
I want the introduction of Thor to be in Avengers.
Avengers.
Which I think is a great introduction.
When he shows up and he fights Iron Man.
Yep.
Doth knoweth you wear your mother's drapes. That's a great introduction right there. That's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I didn't think I was going to have to protect Thor. You realize now, though, it's going to be real awkward in Love and Thunder because we've just removed Natalie Portman from the MCU, and now she's going to show up.
He talks about her in Ragnarok. How sad he is about her.
Sure.
Yeah, her name has come up.
Yeah.
I think you see a picture of her in Avengers.
Oh my god!
Wait, which one was it? It's
you guys are the worst.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I guess it's back to you, sir.
Yep. Back to our Ed.
I'm gonna protect because I don't really want to. The last movies that are here, I don't want to ban any of them, but I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I protect Far From Home.
Fair enough.
I liked Mysterio.
Yeah.
I liked Mysterio. I think they did really well with a character that shouldn't have done well on screen, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How they explained the magic and how they, I think they did well with that character. And the scene where he's tripping, Spider-Man's tripping and he's like fighting him in the train. And he gets hit by the train and he goes big. Like that whole scene, that was a good scene.
Yeah.
I like that scene in the middle there. So
yeah, I agree. It's a good movie, and I think it was out of what's left. I think it's the only obvious one that might have been cut. So I think it's a good choice.
Yeah. So I want to keep that one. So
okay. I mean, I think I have to protect Avengers Endgame because it's part of my favorite saga. I don't think anyone's gonna get rid of that, but I have to keep it. So
fair enough.
I agree.
Well, Kyle, it's your turn. We've got 2 movies left. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and we've got Spider-Man Homecoming. It's your last chance for a hot take.
we got what are the last 2? Spider-Man Homecoming and Ant-Man and the Wasp, right?
No, I already protected Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
That's right.
God damn it.
The real question is, How much do you like Jeff Bridges?
I'm gonna protect the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Okay,
I
well,
like the Guardians of the Galaxy too much to ban either one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta canonize planet fucking.
I mean, I've literally repeatedly listened to the music album for both
Yeah,
volumes.
those soundtracks are amazing.
I
Those
just love
soundtracks are
them.
amazing.
Agreed.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I couldn't work up banning Spider-Man.
I could see you trying.
That's right. I was trying to think over the movie. It's like, is there any part of that movie I really hate?
Pass it to me.
No.
I'll ban Homecoming.
What?
I'm kidding, but I
Okay.
could see one argument and one argument only. And that is
Well, yeah, let's hear it.
that the Vulture is not an old man who steals the youth from people, and that he's just an old man with a suit. There's no
But
youth
Michael
stealing.
Keaton, but Michael Keaton slaps in that movie.
Michael Keaton does slap in that movie, but Adrian, I can't even remember his last name. His
Toomes.
whole Toomes. There it is. Yes,
Yeah, Adrian Toomes. Yeah.
his whole thing is stealing youth. The big plot and like stealing the age from Spider-Man. It's a big part of how Spider-Man grows up really fast in some of the arcs. It's the only argument I could accept. But that being said, that movie still fucking slaps. I love Homecoming.
And Michael Keaton is fantastic.
He is.
In
He's so
in
funny.
everything he's in, he's great. I love Michael Keaton.
He fits the character perfect.
He did it well. He does. Especially he's better now than he was as a younger actor. I think he's
Yes.
better.
For sure.
He's aged better as an actor for sure.
Yes, he has definitely grown. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's why I'm banning Homecoming. No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm canonizing Homecoming.
Nice. Okay.
It has the shocker in it.
It does have the shocker in
Does
it,
have
which
the
is
shocker.
great. I didn't think he was going to be in it, but I love that they brought. I love when they bring like B units
too.
and villains in it and stuff. I love it.
But the shocker, and even for a B character, most Spider-Man people know. Like anybody that knows anything about Spider-Man remembers Shocker. I think.
Oh yeah.
So
Because he shows up all the time to set up the other
Yeah.
villains.
and his fight in the Spider-Man game was fantastic too.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man
Yeah.
game in general was fantastic, but
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, I think that wraps your game up, yeah?
Yeah, it sure does. I'll go through the casualties just to remind everyone. These are movies we can never talk about on the podcast again. Iron Man, Incredible Hulk,
That's right.
Thor, Thor: The Dark World, Ant-Man, Captain America: Civil War. That's some hopeful thinking on my part. I accidentally put Doctor Strange in the ban.
No, Strange exists.
Wishful thinking.
Yes, well, I'll switch that. I'll make that right. And actually, that's it. Surprisingly,
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's going to be just a protection.
Correct.
That's all you're
Listen,
gonna get.
you forced this to happen, Kyle.
I
kinda
know,
did.
I'm quite happy.
I was going to ban Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I couldn't get to it because I had to protect shit from you. Anyways, so now...
That's what I was gonna mean. It's gonna just be like, who can protect what quicker? It's just gonna be a list of all of its canon.
True.
I was going to go on the offensive on the turn that you banned Iron Man, Kyle.
Right?
You just completely changed my game plan.
Shot across the bow received. Yeah, God. So moving on to the next segment,
Nerd we are.
we now have Kyle's Chaos Corner. I have to present you with this because we do it every time. The opinions and views expressed in Kyle's Chaos Corner do not reflect the opinions and views of Let's Play Death Ray. We're sorry in advance. Jacob and I do not edit this. We do not control this. He does not tell us ahead of time anything about this. If you survive this, then you're good people and we're good friends, and you can consider yourself a part of the crew because you can tolerate Kyle. So, Kyle, what are we doing? How are we doing this? Let's
Okay,
go ahead and introduce this, and then I have to step away for a second.
Right. So, well, I don't know if you can, David.
What?
So
I have to step away for a
my
second.
my chaos corner today will be consisting of RNGamer asking us questions.
What?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you just Look, I'm gonna walk away for a second. Don't burn
Oh,
the
you
podcast down. I'll be right back.
So,
yeah, I wanted to go with something that was a little off taken,
Yeah.
and no one will be prepped for.
yeah. Let's see. So, well, I'll wait till David gets back before I ask that question. I have a question for all three, kind of thing, right off the bat.
I'll answer any questions for David that you want.
I can answer for him.
So, Jake, what made you decide this whole algorithm thing? I'm very interested in that, and how you stick with that. Actually,
It was a dumb shower idea I came up with because I was sort of thinking I had been like reading some articles about algorithms and stuff and sort of like how they're having more and more influence on people's like sort of passive engagement with media, especially.
Mhm.
So I just thought it would be interesting to sort of just surrender over like completely to that, just as much as I possibly could, and sort of stretch it to as far of a logical extreme as I could, and just see what it was like. I kind of assumed that I would be going crazy. I've actually found it until recently very easy. Like the Suicide Squad like movies, like the first big thing that I feel like I'm really missing out on because of it.
Okay, that's interesting. That when he said that, I was like, wait, what? I would have no self. I could not hold myself to do something like that, like at all. So that's very interesting. Now that David's back, what? So what inspired this? What inspired all three of y'all to get together and do this?
Oh, well, wait. Are you asking me this question?
I'm asking all three of you.
All of us.
This is a question for all three of you.
Okay,
I'd like to hear all three takes on it.
that's a long story.
So I could start off with mine because mine's going to be shorter.
True.
This is true.
So David and Jake have been doing podcasts for a while, and like I moved in and they started doing Life is Unfair. And I thought that's pretty cool. It's interesting. I like to throw my bits and pieces in once in a while. They get irritated by it, which just makes me laugh, and I get a good chuckle out of. They said, "Yeah, we're gonna start another podcast." It's like, you know what? I'm gonna get in before they kick me out. And just tell me, Kyle, I'm shutting the door. You stay in your room and play video games. Don't interact with me. I'm currently busy.
It is so
Okay.
funny that that's your perspective of it, because when we get to mine, it's gonna be wow. All right.
because yeah, then it's like, okay, David's obviously already got this basically bit out. Jake's gonna get his own bit, and then it's like, I'm gonna just see what I could do. What am I gonna get to? I gotta get some experience in with this before I kind of get, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I get dragged along when I don't know what I'm doing.
Fair.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
I can go next, I guess. We'll kind of go in reverse order, since this was David's brainchild. I've been making podcasts with David for much longer than we've like been streaming it. It's like the furthest back like our content creation goes, although almost all of it is now just gone, which I'm mostly grateful for, realistically. But I've loved podcasts for a very long time, and David and I have sort of done a bunch of stuff and refined, what we do and sort of what we're good at and what we like to do. And then David, when we were trying to come up with sort of new things to do with the Twitch channel, he threw out the idea of doing a live Twitch podcast and sort of he gave like a very rough outline of what he wanted to do. That we then just kind of like worked together to sort of refine exactly what we wanted the show to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I were to let you behind the scene of the Let's Play Death Ray creative process, it's three dudes sitting in a basement, and me saying, "Hey, we should do this thing." And this thing is not okay. I am not the guy who comes to you and is like, "Hey, we should build the Taj Mahal and we should build it out of marble and cap it with gold." No, I come to you and I'm like, "Guys, we should build the greatest monument ever." End of idea. And then Jake is like, "Okay, yeah, but like what kind? What do you mean?" So what happened with this podcast is I had spent a lot of time with hanging out with Jordan, and a lot of time hanging out with John C. Stout and all of those guys. Ton of time on TikTok, and what I saw was a gap in content. And what I saw was a bunch of shows where everyone got together and talked about streaming and bitched about streaming and bonded over their struggles in streaming. And I saw that there was nowhere where people were just talking about who are you, who are we, who are the people. And so I came up with the idea of I want to do a interview podcast where we talk to streamers about the things that makes them them outside of content creation. I don't want to talk to you about your content. There's other places to do that. You want to bring me on your content to talk about it? Great, cool, I'll do that. But here it's not about that. And then, yeah, I went to Jake with that idea afterwards because I couldn't, I had a lot of things bouncing around my head. I couldn't solidify what I wanted to do, but I knew that was the focus. And then I went to Jake. And then he and I were talking about it. He started asking me questions. How would you want to segment it? How do you want to format it? You know, because he's very good with that kind of stuff. And then while we were talking about it, so it's funny that Kyle, like, his perception is he's like gonna get in before we drag him out or kick him out. One of the very first things I said to Jake was that I wanted to get Kyle involved in this because he didn't have the amount of podcasting experience that we do. I wanted him to get that experience for future content. I wanted him to meet people. I wanted to get him more involved in the channel and expose him more to this side of this content creation world. So it's funny to me to hear that he was like thinking that he had to jump in. Like, no, we were bringing you with us in this, whether you wanted to or not. The fact that you came in gung ho and was like, I could do this and just mess with people. I was like, brilliant, perfect. So there you go.
That's awesome. Okay. Let's see. All right. Can't think. What was I gonna? I had something in my head that I was gonna ask.
You're good. Welcome to the Chaos Corner. No one's prepared.
Right.
No one's
Right.
prepared. Oh yeah, I am, and even now I'm not prepared.
All right. Let's. What's your most prized nerd possession that you own?
That's a tough one. So I have a partial answer, but it's incomplete at this point. But when it's completed, I think it will be my most prized nerdy thing, and that is a complete collection of the Great Lakes Avengers, every appearance in their comics.
Okay.
So I'm fairly close to finish. I've been slowly collecting, like over about the last year.
Okay.
I have two that I value the same. Like, I have one kind of like Jake that I'm working on that I think will overtake that eventually, but I'm way behind on from him. But I think the two like biggest things I can't really show you all that well. Behind me, in the middle here, this is
The pyramid head.
it's a pyramid head done in
I've
all
asked you about that
charcoal.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've asked you about that before.
I love it. Philip Spalding is amazing. It's great. But the one that is like right even or just a hair above it, I have a Venom print that is off screen here that I can't pull off the wall without a lot of work. And it's Venom, but it's signed by Jeff Isherwood, who did the art for Venom for a very long time. And I got to sit and talk with him at Comic-Con about Venom and about comics, and I spent like 2 hours talking to this dude for absolutely free. He was just is so engaging, and then he pulled out a bunch of old prints of his that he had from Nom that never went to print. Like it was when they ended the comic, so I got to see some stuff from Nom that was going to come out that never made it to comics. So yeah, it was an awesome experience, and I got his signature on the print, and that's like my big nerd thing.
Nice.
So my big nerd thing is I'm still working on. I've got a partial collection of a Last of Us memorabilia.
Okay.
I've got part of the comics already collected. I've got like the big 2 art books for both 1 and 2. And then I've got a physical copy of both the original Last of Us and the Last of Us remastered.
Nice.
I've stopped there because I can't get any of the rest of it right now because I don't have the money, and
Yeah.
I'm putting it other places.
Yeah.
But once I get that money saved up, that's where all that money's gonna go, and I will put it on display for
Yeah.
all of my stuff because
Yeah.
that's one of the very few games I played literally 7 years later after that game was released.
Yeah.
I'm still
It's
playing it.
It's a good game.
Damn.
So good. It was so good. Yeah. I wish I would have waited. I wish I wouldn't have waited as long in my life to start collecting things. 'Cause
Yeah.
if I would have kept stuff when I was younger, I would have such a badass collection. Like I just recently started collecting stuff within the past probably like 2 years. So I'm trying to build up my Resident Evil collection. And what makes me mad is I had all the original games in boxes. Now I don't have any of them. So I've been trying to slowly find those games again, and it's so hard to find them.
You want to hear a
Decently priced.
Want to hear a sad story?
What's that?
I had Lando Calrissian, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Chewbacca original 1977 action figures. Even out of the box, each one of those is worth 400 plus. I gave them to Goodwill when I became a teenager and was too old for action figures.
So I just recently found the 1995 Kenan reproduction of the land speeder and ATST.
Yeah.
Well, they're out of I bought them I got them at antique stores, so they were already out of the box. So this is from the 95.
Those are so cool.
I still have the boxes, but they were already out. And then
Right.
Ah, dude. So cool.
my most recent find, probably my
Nice, dude. A 9.6.
yeah. And this is when Captain America picks up Mjolnir for the first time.
Nice.
And I also got that at an antique store.
Heck yeah.
Like antique stores recently have been like honey holes for stuff that I've been finding.
Yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
We have a couple here in town. I might have to go look.
and then recently found that.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Nice.
So, and it's still got the booklet, and it's in like excellent condition. It still plays.
Nice, man.
Nice.
That's that's one thing I hate about I have been a collector mildly of various different things throughout my life, as Jake can attest to. But I have lost most of it. I lost a lot in a flood down south. I lost a lot in just I've been in similar situations to Jordan where I had to sell everything and pack what I could in a Ford Ranger and move across the country. So
I've lost stuff in a fire. I lost a lot of stuff in a fire at one point in time, and that But I've been recently trying to collect the Resident Evil Pop Funkos, which are really freaking hard to find.
yeah, the zombie ones, oddly enough, are getting harder to find. Like the giant Marvel zombies.
Ones,
yeah.
I've got the Hunter and the Tyrant is the only two that I can find that were decently priced. The rest of them are like $150 to $300 a piece, and it's just like
holy shit for a Funko
Resident,
Pop.
Yeah, but the Resident Evil, they only came out with them for like a year.
Oh.
And so they're just really hard to find. Anything Resident Evil is just really hard to find because it wasn't massively produced as much as most things were. Like I said, I spent like $50 or $60 on a Jill Valentine action figure that's not even nothing special. It's just a Jill Valentine doll, and it's cool, but I spent way too much on it. But there's a Nemesis one that I want so bad that's like this tall, probably 3 feet tall, but it's like $750, and I'm like, nope,
dude, no,
nope,
that's
nope,
crazy.
Nope. So, I can't think of any other questions currently.
That's fair, since you weren't prepped to come on here to do this.
No, you weren't.
And way to go, Kyle, with your Chaos Corner. Flipping it on the head for RN.
Yeah.
I just noticed Anime Daddy was talking.
Yes, Anime Daddy just started talking. Yeah.
He was summoned.
Yeah, he was summoned. I mentioned him the third time. It's funny having Camilla and then Crises and then you on, back to back, all people that I've met through Jordan.
Yeah.
So he usually ends up coming up at least once.
Yeah.
So
I've met a lot of cool people through Jordan in general.
I have too.
A lot of cool creators, or just people in general.
Yeah.
Like people that are in the content creation world but are not necessarily creating content right now, like Night Wolf. Like that dude's cool as shit.
Night Owl?
Or Night Owl, yeah. Not Night
I was
Wolf.
like, wait, Night Wolf is a shitty comic character that we can talk about, but
yeah, Night Owl. I'm dumb as hell. But yeah,
he has the strength of two men.
Like Night Owl, that dude is cool. That dude's cool as hell.
He is.
And McQueeb and all of them, like they're all,
yeah.
So
yeah,
tell him, Anime Daddy. I'm sorry. I'll apologize to him later. Don't tell him I called him the wrong name.
But no, it's why we created this podcast.
Yeah.
I got to meet so many cool creators. I've met a lot of smaller creators that haven't gotten the recognition that they deserve. I've met a lot of big creators who it's still weird to me that some of them even know who the fuck I am. Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, and you just talk to people. It's one of those things. It's why, I've never had a problem, you know what I mean? Like, approaching people to be on the show. Yeah. I mean, shit, one of the first people I DM'd was Deadly Dill and Kyle Driver. I was like, hey, guys, you want to be on the show? we're starting it up. When I messaged Deadly, I don't even think I had started. I don't even think we'd recorded our first episode. So that's why he was the fourth person on the show, because I don't care who you are. You're a person. I'll message anyone. I will message Dr. Disrespect if I gave a shit about his content. Yeah. But I don't, so I'm not gonna message him.
There's people that really care about that content too, isn't there?
There are, and
I
don't know.
I don't watch a lot of big creators.
Me either.
I think McQueeb and Kanoa Daddy are probably the two biggest creators that and their numbers, even though they're partners and everything, their numbers are still considered small in a lot of people's eyes. And it blows my mind that that the amount of people that they stream to.
Yeah.
some of the content's just really generic to me. It seems like
Yeah, and I think that's part of. I mean,
it's not
when
as
you
genuine.
in some cases, but I
Maybe.
think
Yeah.
not to get too far into the content creation
Yeah.
side of things.
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
But I think part of that comes with being the top tier. You know, it's kind of like when you look at a mom and pop shop and you're like, well, it's no Walmart, or well, they're just trying to be Walmart. Well, fucking yeah, because Walmart's
Yeah,
everywhere
why
and they
not?
make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's why
Back
everyone
it
wants to be Walmart. It's not
Yeah.
saying that Walmart is the best. It's just they're the biggest.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyways, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
that makes
dive.
sense. No, yeah, you're good.
That's a whole nother podcast. So is that it for your stuff then, Kyle?
Yep, that was it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on our end. This was a ton of
Dude,
fun.
thank you so much. Yeah, I had a freaking blast.
I
It was
love
a lot
it.
of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Another round of movies we can never talk about on the podcast. It's getting to be too much, Jake.
I can't believe y'all. I can't believe some of the movies that we
Let's
can't talk
let's
about
do
anymore.
DC next. Jake, let's do DC next.
Well, we just ban most of the movies. Just ban everything but
Exactly.
Suicide Squad. Like, yeah.
Everyone
Start
in the
over.
Reverse of the MCU.
Leave
What
the
can I
Snyder.
protect?
If you
What
ban
can you guys
anything,
ban?
if you ban anything, ban the not the Snyder cut.
The
Ban
original
other-
Justice League.
The original Justice League cut. Ban that one. Keep Snyder.
I'll ban them both so fucking fast.
The
That's-
Snyder cut was better though.
It was better, but
It was
that's like
better.
that's like saying that I still had to eat poop, but
That's
this
like
time
saying
it was
Iron Man 3
flavored.
That's like saying that Iron Man 3 is the best movie in the MCU.
Well, Jake's dumb.
Let's not get carried away. I just think it's universally beloved. I'm just saying it's impossible not to like.
What you don't know is that's a dumb long-running joke from our channel from arguing with chat. So
yeah.
I do actually like the movie, but
anyways,
But yeah,
you want to
thank you for having me.
Bro, thank you for
Appreciate
coming
it.
on. And
Yeah,
again, this
absolutely.
will have to happen again at some point in the future.
Absolutely. 100%. I'll be here. Just let me know.
Heck yeah, dude. You want to go ahead and plug your stuff again real quick where people can find you, and then we will.
You can find me on pretty much all platforms except for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. RNGamer85.
How about MySpace?
Oh my god.
I mean, it's there. Just not a lot. I just don't have any followers, man. I haven't created my top 10 yet. So
Can I be in your
leave me
top 8?
alone. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you guys next week. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for watching the video. We appreciate you for being here. Make sure to subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you don't miss any more of our awesome chats. And if there's a content creator or streamer that you want to see on the show, make sure to put it down in the comments or email us. We'd love to get in touch with them, bring them on the show. Have a wonderful night, guys.